going on? Talk to me. What's going on? Pop now. What's up? Mic check. Let's see if my levels is good. What's going on? Let's see what's in the spot today. I mean, Cypress Kill. Nintendo. Come see the Nintendo stuff. It's the other Lord you got stuff. Necroman's Brazil, what's up? What's up? Back from the stand, my man. What's going on? Ninja Squirrel, what's up? What's going on? Robert, we are not doing another 7 hours. Because we did 7 hours and I forgot the poll question. I fell asleep. My audio's kind of low. I'm going to turn up. Look, y'all. Oh, yeah. Wow. yeah. Good luck. We're going to try how's that a little bit better now. Let's turn up slightly. Yeah. No doubt. I'm messing with it. I'm kind of fixing it. Give me a second. What about now? How the levels now? Is it a little better now? Or do y'all need to turn me up? Still lowish. Word. That's crazy. Give it a second. Get that now. Oh, what's going on? No doubt. Gerald Mack, what's going on? Thank you, Nintendo. Appreciate it. No doubt. Thank y'all for the mic checks. Far Q, what's going on? See y'all. William Master, what's going on? No doubt. Yeah, we're gonna mess with it a little bit more. But yeah, we got a good show. Popping off. You know what I mean? Some good topics in that thing. Fresh off that 300, that 301. And yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get King and everybody up in there. Buddha, what's going on, man? Good morning, what's going on? Necromancer, yeah, let's go. Check out the chat. Got my ILP Labrie pillow Friday and used it for trials in D2. Went solo flawless. There we go. The Labrie did it. He went solo flawless for the first time on his first. I see you was comfortable. You had that Labrie. You had your elbows on that joint. You was rested. You had the good gaming posture. You was focused. Your aim was on point. You went to the lighthouse. They may have to be banned like the Cronus. No doubt. Lots of Percy, what's going on? Chillin'. Just Spartan. Y'all see that unrecorded gameplay? I haven't. Pacifista. What's going on? Yeah, I gotta check that out. I don't know what's going on with that. But he said, I hope the show's running. That's it. Yeah, Nintendo fans shouldn't be talking about no 60 frames. I don't want to hear none of that, Metroid. Nam Omar, my man. What's going on? Scott C. Down with ILP. Yeah, you know me. Any of the Lords. Robert Keller, $2 in the chat. Any Lords played the Pixel remaster? Now, I wouldn't know because they skipped the Xbox platform. I'm just joking. I might pick it up for Switch. Real talk. It looked real cool, and then I gotta play Final Fantasy 6. It's been so long, I don't really remember a lot of it. And you know the Final Fantasy 6 guys are going extra hard because I'm a 7 guy, so I gotta see what's going on with that. But anyway, yeah, Combat Talk was fire with the King. I came out and supported him. That was dope. So look, let me go because King's about to get up in here and he's gonna give us a copyright strike because he's coming in with music. But I will talk to y'all in a minute. It's good to see y'all up in the realm. Give you some Dallas bars.
Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look, y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal, and haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that
Yoga Fire.
This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter but I'm anti-social. Love my city but I'm still bi-coastal. I got, nah, let's switch that.
What is you doing?
What I wanna do,
Don't
man.
stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm just
Keep
sick of
that
this.
going. Keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gon' hold ya, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for ya. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's, whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter but I'm anti-social. Love my city but I'm still bi-coastal. I got, nah, let's switch that.
What is you
What I
doing?
wanna do,
Don't
man.
stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm
Keep
just
that
sick of this.
Keep that going. Keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gon' hold ya, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for ya. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's, whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter but I'm anti-social. Love my city but I'm still bi-coastal. I got, nah, let's switch that.
What is you
What I
doing?
wanna do,
Don't
man.
stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm just
Keep
sick of
that
this.
Keep that going. Keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. For them to be your dogs, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gon' hold ya, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for ya. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's, whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rings. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals, all on Twitter but I'm anti-social. Love my city but I'm still bi-coastal. I got, nah, let's switch that.
What is you
what I wanna do.
Don't stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm
Keep
just
that,
super
keep that, keep that going, keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. Feeling to be your dog, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gon' hold ya, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for ya. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's... Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rains. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals. All on Twitter, but I'm anti-social. Love my city, but I'm still bi-coastal. I got... Nah, let's switch that up.
What is you doing?
What I wanna do.
Don't stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm
Keep
just
that,
super
keep that, keep that going, keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. Feeling to be your dog, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gon' hold ya, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for ya. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's... Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it department and I get the blame. Still I be running, collecting them rains. You just a target when I'm in the range. I was the hardest to start regardless back when you was messaging people on AIM. Check my vocals. All on Twitter, but I'm anti-social. Love my city, but I'm still bi-coastal. I got... Nah, let's switch that up.
What is you
What I
doing?
wanna do.
Don't stop. Nah, that was dope.
I'm
Keep
just
that,
super
keep that, keep that going, keep that going. Nah, go ahead.
Look, I guess you could say that I'm very spoiled. Feeling to be your dog, they ain't very loyal. But I ain't gon' hold ya, I ain't here to boil you. You ain't gotta say it, I'm embarrassed for ya. Always been a nerd, never been a loser. Making Voltron with a gang of cougars. And I'm going places, better tell a Uber. Cause it's pretty hard to sleep on Freddy Krueger. That's... Whew. Let's do that again. Hear ye, man. Welcome to the show. If you would not mind, go ahead and find yourself a spot, get comfortable, grab a snack, do all that good stuff that we need to do, and we're about to get started. It's not important who I am. What's important is that you are pulling up to the Iron Lords podcast right now as we speak, and I guess I'm here to keep you entertained until it's time to get this show started. So look. Y'all done messed up and turned me to an animal. And haters be swearing they real, but come to find out that they really mechanical. And yeah, I be eating these rappers, but that's all a part of me being a cannibal. And they say I'm better than money because you can bank on me being accountable. I know a million rappers that don't want to be on a song with me, that's understandable. I kill a beat and they want to compare me to Freddie and Jason. I'd rather be Hannibal. They be like, why use a video game? Just be original, y'all too dramatical. I know it's random, but I am addicted to flipping the sample and making it flammable. This is that yoga, fire, flame. They think it's arson up in the apartment. They call it... I'ma just chill and watch them and eat snacks in the attic. I wanted to chill with the pack and be like a young wolf, but then they would mistake me for addict. If I can imagine it's cool to give you some advice, then invite your girl to your squadron. Cause if you don't give her that option, you gon' be single player like Sovereign. You gon' get tossed in the bushes by King David. Royalty and not a pretender. Detrimental to an elemental, what's an avatar to a knee bender? I gotta be me though. I know it's my destiny, word to Cognito. Who cares if you fly, if you still a mosquito? You swear you ain't stuntin', but really be Steve-O. You like to collect stuff and that's cool, but I got bad news. Even if you really was that dude, King David still be the king of the statues. Since a juvenile, I've been cursed with a curse to be musical. And if you hate it, we'll meet in the crucible. Other than that, then it's cool and it's beautiful. We let you know that your dreams are pursuable. Whatever you wanna do, then it's doable. If you got work on a Sunday, it's suitable. Cause you can listen to this in your cubicle on the Lord's Day. Woo. If you got work on a Sunday, it's suitable. Cause you can listen to this in your cubicle on the Lord's Day.
Yeah. Mic checks and all that. Mic checks. Get some mic checks from the Lord.
What's going on?
What's going on? Mic check from the Lord. Get a little mic check. You know what I'm saying?
Testing. Can you guys hear me? Can the
Why are
room
you
hear
looking
me?
at the joint like that?
Can you hear me? Huh?
Why he look like he's in a he's in a, like a very sanitized room today?
Look, man. Look. Well, it's a different lens. I have a different lens.
Oh, you have a different lens? King, can I get a mic check, sir?
Yeah. What's up? What's going on?
What's going on? All right. I think we are
Is
good.
it low? Is it low?
No. I think you're good. I just wanted to make sure everything was good.
I got to get that green screen off of my combat talk.
Oh, okay. You got to get your green screen on?
I got to find out how to turn it off because we turned it on at one time and we never turned it off. So when you look at it, you're gonna be seeing my face all in the back.
Yeah, that's easy. I can show you.
You said it. All right. Hear ye. And we are live. And welcome to the Iron Lords Podcast, LLC. And also live on lordsofgaming.net. Episode number 301. Shout out to another glorious Sunday. We're back
Next
at the
goal is 400.
400. You know what I'm saying? We're back at the round table of the Lord's Day. And today we've got Dead Island 2. Xbox confirms HiFiRush success. PlayStation acquires FirewalkStudios, and Solve reminds me we have to talk about Nintendo Indies. Nintendo. And JosephStaten to Netflix to discuss, so we gonna get right into it. So let's introduce the four horsemen of gaming, those original lords here at the round table. My co-host with the co-most, my brother from another mother, the difficult game conqueror, lord of his own world, and the how of the young wolf. My man, Lord Addict of the Addict Show. How we doing, sir?
I'm doing okay. How you guys do?
Popping into the joint. What is with this popping?
Man, this is my domain. Okay, I don't tell you how to do things in cog domain. Okay,
Listen,
I'm doing things in the attic domain the way that me, the mayor of Attic Land, sees.
Attic Land.
Yeah, he got Attic World got
Yeah,
too much
see, no,
popping.
we're not Attic Town anymore. We bought some of sovereign lands around us, so now we're the Attic Land. Okay,
Yeah, get a new lens, don't know how to act. Continue. What's going on?
but it's been a good show, man. Good week. I finished that Mandalorian thing.
Oh man, the topics
yes,
that
sir.
put the old topics up. God, I gotta fix it. Keep talking. I'll fix the topics, y'all.
Yeah, I finished Snowfall.
Snowfall.
That TV show, Snowfall.
Real?
Nice, very nice.
Yeah, that might be just as good, if not better, than Power. I'm gonna be real with you.
Really?
Like,
See, I gotta watch Snowfall. I said, you know
Oh,
what?
you haven't watched any of it? I've
No.
been getting flack too. The same thing. Yeah.
I said I gotta call Cog. Star.
Oh yeah, that's isn't that Singleton in them? Like it's his last series, I believe. Snowfall. That's what I
it
heard.
is?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
but it's really, really, really good, and definitely, I like Slow Motion is definitely better than Power. I don't know because I feel like Power had better highs. Now I'm not saying Snowfall don't have good highs; it's got fantastic highs. But when stuff goes out on Power, I'm in shock. I'm not going to say those moments didn't happen in Snowfall, but I will say it didn't happen as much. But I do feel like Snowfall is a better consistent show than Power is.
Really? That's big.
You
What you
watched
been
all
playing,
the
sir?
early seasons of Power, right?
I've seen all of them. I've seen the one with Kanan. I've seen
Okay.
season 2. I even seen the one with Tommy.
This is letting y'all know Attic is more urban than you.
Yeah, he in the streets. I just show he in the streets for real.
And he saw all of BMF. He don't be playing.
Yeah,
No,
he
that,
on.
I'm actually in Star. I'm watching BMF. That
Look at that.
I see. The reason that like I'm like disassociated with that is because like at least with the other one, it had some realms of reality on what happened in Power. Like there were some like links that went to Power, but like on that show, I don't feel that because I don't think it has anything to do with Power. So like I'm not as into the show. It's still a good show, but I'm not as in as I was like watching. I feel like Kanan was one of the best things they've done.
It's okay. There was the 50. That was his the come up. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That's what's up. What games you been playing, sir?
I can actually officially say it.
NDA dudes.
Dead Island 2.
Ooh, we gonna talk
I could
about
have said I see. There's some weird thing going on right now where some people could post their reviews last Tuesday and some people could post their reviews last Thursday. So I was like, you know what? If I can't post my stuff till the 20th, I'm gonna hold my stuff till ILP today. So after the show today, you know, my full-blown review will come out.
Nice.
Hope you guys enjoy it. Yeah, I'm not going to go too much into it because I do want, obviously, I'll talk a little bit about, you know, Cog usually asks me questions when it comes to data,
I got you.
these games.
Yeah, I got some questions.
But I won't really go into, like, hardcore details of the game.
They said we need an urban addict
watch
emote. I can't. Urban addict. Yo, I can't.
It's funny that you talk about that Attic because did you see the email today?
it. No.
Yeah, we were blessed with the code for Dead Island 2.
Oh, how great. How great. How great. That's awesome.
Amazing.
Amazing post-release code. Salute. So that's been it, sir.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I will say that it's been a pretty chaotic week. Had family in. They was in for like 2 weeks.
What's up? Zona?
But they went back to Arizona.
Okay, shout out
So,
to Zona, the crib. You know, no doubt.
Yeah, so it was but what's funny is like he got like all the NES and SNES stuff. Like
Old school.
yeah, so it's been a pretty chaotic week, man. It's but I'm glad to have my living room back because they
you
were
got
staying with us. while they
Oh,
were
so
in.
there's all cramped. Everybody up in the crib. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know what
because
you mean.
yesterday I went in there and I watched something. I think I watched Jigsaw because it's been so long since I watched it. And I was sitting in there and I was like, I can't remember the last time I was in my living room like this. Like,
No one here to bother. No doubt. And of course, we have our most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single player selfish experience, and also the Soundstradamus, the Lord of Clarity and Lord Patron of the Iron Bank, PC's Master Race's own Lord Sovereign. How we doing, sir?
I'm good. There's no Tales from the Master Race this week.
Oh, what
All I
happened?
did was download Dead Island. That's it. That's it. That's all the work the PC got this week.
Steam
so.
Deck not operating, functioning correctly?
This week, I was actually trying to get some Breath of the Wild on and prepare myself for Tears of the Kingdom, and even that did not happen. It was just sitting there, even on my lunch hour at work, it was just not happening.
Just busy.
Yeah, because I have considerably more responsibility now than I did even just a couple of weeks ago. So
Moving up.
yeah, moving on up, right? And that means no time. Or whatever, you know. It is what it is. But yeah, what did I do? So actually yesterday, obviously we played some Minecraft Legends.
Yes.
I could talk about that. And
Yeah, you had the army to
yeah,
yourself.
I had the army to myself. The Sov army.
I didn't
the
get
sovereign
actual people in
army.
my army to like damn near the end of the stream. Like,
So, like, yo,
And that's because some of mine died.
but see
right? And
that's not Saul's fault. That's
Yeah.
the developer's fault for not making it more vividly clear that
Yeah.
once one dude rocks out, no one else is rocking.
That's
Like-
all for the whole team. Yeah.
Shared
So,
resources.
So yeah, it's not for me. Like I understand the appeal of Minecraft. I understand that it's a demographic, right? But I'm not in that demographic. in any, I didn't play Minecraft Dungeons. I don't know, if it's something that would be
Dungeons
appealing
is
to me.
fun. It's
You're
fun.
right, because it's more. Does it have any other building in Dungeons?
It's like no.
Okay.
It's like what's the joint where Elf is about to die?
What you talking about?
Elf is-
Joint where it's a elf, a knight, a wizard, and you like Elf is about to die.
I don't know.
Is
What
it
you talking
Gauntlet?
You don't
Like
remember
Gauntlet?
Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
I got you. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's more like that. Okay. So yeah, it just isn't for me. But what was fun was Fortnite. We played a little bit of Fortnite.
Yeah, that's actually fun. That was actually fun.
That was and just like King and Addict been playing this forever. So I'm like to see them and be like, no, we gotta go this way, and then we gotta take this launch up into this thing. And I'm like, yo, what? I'm like, there's some depth to this game.
Yeah. I'm like, why are we on this remote flying island? I'm like, yo, what? And they got it all. Yo, all right, they gonna come up here. These zip lines, we gonna pop them. And I'm like, yo, this all of it was working. All of it was working.
Watching that stream,
yeah,
and I was thinking. It was literally me and King just dictating everything that happened in that
literally.
Because we was at the end and I was on top. Because usually how me and King play that game, I take elevation, he takes ground floor. Like almost every time we do anything, I just naturally go above ground with like, a DMR or sniper rifle, something like that. Because I'm more of a mid-range, long-range combat anyway in that game. It was sitting there. I just saw I'm shooting the people in the back, trying to force them closer to us. And I just hear King said, someone's coming up. And I just reach over shotgun, shot him twice, go back.
Nah, once y'all told me to snitch, I was like, there he is. There it is. There.
And you can see the
yeah. I said, there you go, guys.
Yeah, that was fun. So I may play more of that. Stay tuned.
I would welcome that, sir.
Shit, I had Silver Surfer with the gat.
That is so dirty.
So dirty.
Then you have Roach from The Witcher floating down on the
you should. They have Shinron from Dragon Ball Z, the big green dragon that you ride on. Like you don't like hold below him, like you ride on him like, a snowboard.
But this is the thing, you can only use those like quote unquote mounts as you're landing on the island, right? You can't use them
unless you have a perk. Like the only way you can re-jump is if like you hit something that makes you redeploy, or you have a perk that lets you redeploy anytime you want.
Yeah, that's called the aerialist.
Oh, okay.
That was fun. I gotta admit, I've never downloaded Fortnite in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. It might stay on the hard drive.
It might stay.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you never know.
Ooh, no doubt.
I also played the Street Fighter 6 demo that came out.
I forgot about that. Yeah, how
it was only on PlayStation. It's sometimes it just it's weird that why would you pay for that? I gotta get this first. Like, yeah, it is kind of smart because then you convince people that don't know any better that it's a PlayStation game, right? Yeah. And I get it, but to pay money for that is just weird. But I get it. Anyway, I didn't play any of the story stuff. I want to save that for when I actually get the game.
Okay.
So I didn't touch any of that stuff. I just did the verses because I wanted to play it with a controller that I felt more comfortable with, and not some bootleg third-party thing. And I gotta say, King, the game still feels heavier just because of the characters. They're bigger, right? They have the kind of exaggerated proportions. But the speed of it, when it comes to like countering stuff, getting your moves off, I got to give it to the PlayStation controller. Because usually I'm not really for those type of fighting games. Tekken definitely, right? But like a 2D type of game, not so much. It was pretty good to control. It felt really, really good to control. Nice. Get my fireballs off, get my dragon punches off. Not grabbing like
grabbing. Stop teasing me, bro.
Stop teasing me, bro.
When you are in danger, you're gonna go back to what you're comfortable with. I should have been better at getting out the grabs.
No, but that's the thing. I wasn't even trying to grab you. I was trying to pull off dragon punches and range 0, and it just wasn't happening. Grabs were coming out. But yeah, no, it felt really good, man. These characters.
How many did they let you pick on the demo?
It's just Luke and Ryu.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's it. But you get a chance to really get in there with their moves and everything. It was.
Quick question: really was the announcers that we saw at PAX East
There
Still
was
in the game?
There was one human announcer. You could turn it off, or you could put on that announcer thing, right?
Got you. Okay, okay.
So they only gave you one, and it was the same thing. Like it's cool because it's like it's doing it kind of move for move.
Yeah,
they've done a really good job with that. Yeah, they've done a really good job with that. I wonder, does it have though? Do they have their own announcer though, like their classic Street Fighter announcer?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So, but I like the fact that they understand that shoutcasting when it comes to these games is a good thing, right? But at the same time, do you need shoutcasters now?
I mean, the way this AI going,
right, the way the AI is going, I mean, the game is telling you what you're doing verbatim, right? You don't
right
need a
there.
shoutcaster to tell you.
Hey, that's scary things that are happening. It's exciting in some ways, but scary. But I will say this: I think Capcom with this game, they realized the corner that they painted themselves into with 5, right? That they made from the bat. They were like, "This is esports." Like I don't care what game you are, you cannot come out and say I'm an esport, right? The community has to tell you that you're gonna be that, right. If not, it's a wrap. I don't care what game you are. And it happened with Street Fighter early on, where no story mode, just the verses. They just like they figured this was just gonna be, for the FGC from the very beginning. They didn't really care. And then at the same time, you make it a console exclusive without those perks that you expect on console. And it was very rocky for a large, I would say the first year or two, really. And this game just they know exactly what they have. They're making it accessible to the new player, the guys that love, when you think about Street Fighter, you really think about fighting in the street. And that story mode is fighting in the street.
Let's get it. No doubt.
Yeah. And so it seems like
doing a power bomb on a refrigerator.
On a fridge, dude. I saw a dude in the trailer, last trailer. He was jumping from roof to roof on a favela. Like it was some crazy stuff. So I'm excited to play that and to see how they bring the old with the new. Let me see what else. Okay. Oh, I would be remiss. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, I'm just sorry to interrupt you. I just scrolled through Twitter, and first thing I see is Chess Corden tweets is Dying Light 2 dropped an update to its score system in the day after Dead Island 2 launched.
We're gonna talk about it.
They were holding on to that one. Yeah.
So yeah.
So you guys remember like last year I read a funny email from our friend Gabe Newell.
Yes.
I have another one.
Gabe Newell's back?
Not Gabe. This is another one. I haven't found one as good till now.
So let's go. What we got? Let's read.
All right, let me read.
Come to the front of the congregation with this.
Okay, so the subject matter. Are you truly dead or alive? And this is from H.E. Ronnie Jumeau.
Oh, this is legit. This is legit email. We got to pay attention.
It says, attention customer. This message is officially from the United Nations.
Oh, the UN is hitting us up. 300 episodes, we get hit up for the UN. Continue.
This is to notify you that your funds, $2 million United States dollars, only has been officially released. But now our problem here is that one Cynthia Edward came to informed ED.
Shout out to the spelling.
Came to informed us that you are dead as a result of COVID-19.
Oh, they notifying us of our death. Got you.
As a result of COVID-19.
This is lit.
And before your death, you instructed her to make claim of your funds, US $2 million, that was long abandoned in your name with Chase Bank.
Oh, what action do we need to take? Because that's the next thing. Is
check
action.
This out. This fund, $2 million United States dollars, is officially approved as scam victims compensation to you. So the board of scam victims compensation is looking out for me.
Yo, this is lit, man.
Me and my dead self.
How fortunate of us.
Thank God they reached out.
This is real legit.
Thank God. So here is the big question. This is definitely language that the United Nations would use. So here comes the big question. The question has been big problems to the board directors of Chase Bank, not knowing whom to transfer your funds to.
Oh, they confused where the money got to go.
They got confused.
Yes.
Please just get back immediately. If real, you are alive.
Oh my God.
Yo. What is going on? I want to know what they want us to do. That's usually it's the call to action.
Send me your date of birth.
Yeah. What do they want from us?
And your routing number.
Well, let me double check you're actually from this bank.
So let me go. This is the first term, right?
What's the first term? What we got to do?
First off, did you authorize Cynthia Edward to come for your claim? That's the first. I have to prove that.
That's to prove that. Okay. 2,
are you truly dead or alive?
Yes or no from the afterlife. Yes.
Yes. So check this out, though. If no, you are hereby advising as a matter of urgency to reconfirm the details of this message within 24 hours.
Oh my God.
Hence, your funds shall be wired into her account without any more delay. So, if you cannot confirm that you're alive,
In the event.
lastly, you are advised to reconfirm the details of this message and get back immediately with the information below.
Oh, what's what? Here's the part. This is the part.
Full name.
Full name. We got to get
direct telephone number.
All right.
Address.
Yes.
Your personal identification to enable us to confirm you are not dead. And current occupation and address.
Wow, this is man. They doing their due diligence over there.
And likely is on your head.
This information above must be provided for reconfirmation to enable the Chase Bank carry out your payment to you in case you are alive. If you fail to respond back within 48 hours, not 24 like I said before, that's 48 hours,
48.
Your funds will be wired into her account.
Oh, we got to stop Cynthia from getting this bag, man.
Getting this money.
$2 million US.
$2 million US. Lastly, do get back to me immediately.
Do get back to me.
This will enable me to update my official record of your death.
Yo, shout out to the Foreign Commission, man. The United Nations.
I feel like I wrote that.
And this is all in capital letters. What I require from you, if truly you are alive, just mail me and speak to me in quotations. I am alive.
Yo, I'm done. We gotta stop them. They out of pocket. The scam is going too crazy, man. They heard about ILP 300. Now it's something different now. Now we getting a different level of scam. That's crazy.
So to end, if not, you are at your own risk.
But besides being dead, you're at your own risk, buddy. Fair enough. We hear you.
Yours faithfully, H.E. Ronnie Jumeau. Seychelles ambassador.
Shout out to Ronnie and the team. Really looking us out, looking down, hold us down. You know what I mean? Salute.
This is, oh my goodness. I
got to deal with
this one. Yeah. So
classic,
when I get another one that's a classic, I'll be sure to read it.
Even read those emails.
Yo, sometimes because I have to go. So sometimes we'll get codes and stuff that go into the junk mail, and sometimes nobody sees it. So I'm like, okay, no, I got to make sure that that's not going into junk. So that's it.
Yo, Ben Barrett said Sav's gonna really show Cynthia how alive he is.
So the last thing, I would be remiss if I did not wish baby bro Lord Kaibatsu a happy birthday today.
It's today.
It's
happy
today.
Birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Kai, man.
To the baby bro.
That's what's up.
Exactly, my baby brother. Like, this man is a savant at games. He really takes care of the podcast behind the scenes when it comes to like uploading it and stuff like that. I know we gave him 8 hours of work the other day. Timestamps and stuff like that. Yeah,
and he don't be giving them no problems in the comments. He be checking y'all if y'all get out of pocket. Y'all be some of y'all be too disrespectful. That man working hard, man. Especially when we go extra late. Salute to Kaibatsu. Happy birthday.
Which at this point it's almost weekly.
Yes, clearly.
That is almost weekly. But yeah, absolutely. He takes care of that for all of us. And he's a beast at games. And what else was I gonna say? Yeah, he just doesn't, he's very quiet, kind of likes to be in the cut, in the background, whatever. So maybe we'll, we're going to the movies in a couple of weeks. Maybe we'll hit a plataforma too.
Yeah,
do that. We haven't done plataforma in a minute.
Let me know what's up. You can find something to do.
Get that LeBlanc.
LeBlanc.
That's
that was it. Yes,
no
sir.
doubt. And of course, we have our most technical gaming lord. No, we don't. We have the Incredible Hulk of this, aka the XS Gamer, the prophet of Xbox.
Swami,
king of the statues, who demands nothing less than that premium experience. It is the leader of the fraud alert movement. Beloved Lord King, fresh off that combat talk. How we doing?
Yo, 160 live. Y'all almost brought a tear to my eye.
That's what's up.
I do this to hang out with, people that's, bored at night on Saturday that don't get a chance to see the fight or whatever. and I'm just trying to give them company and give them a bird's eye view into what I'm seeing. Trying to, articulate what I see on the screen. And I've been doing boxing forever, watching boxing, talking about boxing, doing boxing. And to get to this space where people want to hang out with me and we talk boxing is something incredible. Is that 3.5 thousand? Wow. I never expected it. And I truly take my hat off to everybody that was in the chat. You guys was in the chat. Y'all was like tweeted out. Y'all was sharing it. Y'all did everything possible. And I don't want to say Ryan Garcia.
Yeah.
He really he put it all on the line. There's a lot of pressure on that boy's head. He was dealing with a lot of emotional and mental stress earlier on with a couple of other fights that he pulled out from, and he was talking about mental health and stuff. I think he got under the bright lights and he buckled. He was the taller, younger, faster fighter, right? Hand speed. Tank was the more experienced. Experience counts for a lot because Tank sees the bright lights and he doesn't fold.
Right.
Tank understands that a setback in a round doesn't mean that the fight is over. So I think Ryan Garcia's management let him down. I think Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins, and his trainers let him down because he didn't fight the competition necessary to get him ready for a Tank. And I said that, one, they was going to stop the fight with a TKO in the 10th round. This is what I figured. And he got knocked out in the 7th round. And not really knocked out, but he just didn't get up. He knew what was going to happen, and he was afraid.
He wasn't
And I hate to use that word "afraid" with boxers, but he was afraid of the outcome of if he gets splashed out.
You don't want to be on the Summer Jam screen. You don't want to be stretch.
So, shout out to Tank. You did exactly what you were supposed to do. I told everybody in the world, timing beats speed at all times. You're a consummate professional. You guys shook hands, and it was a great fight.
That's yeah, that was something else. The Kaka maker would do it every time.
Yeah, I saw somebody shot. I was like, damn.
Oh, brother. And the delayed reaction, it was just like Oscar Bernard.
Yes,
right under the rib. And just like Oscar, Oscar was smarter with that. Oscar writhed on the floor in pain and laid there.
Yeah, I remember that, yes.
This dude was sitting there looking at the ref count to 10 and hopped up at 10.
Yeah, it made it seem like he just didn't want no more business. And
he didn't want those hands. Those hands was coming.
Gotcha.
So, what I'm playing.
Yeah, what you playing?
Okay, Fortnite with the team.
Yeah.
And we got that chicken dinner.
First time. That's another thing. Like,
I don't think I've ever got one. I think this is my first time ever getting one is with y'all.
That was fun. I was hoping that we get a chance to do that. Minecraft ain't my thing. Play Minecraft. Not my thing.
You wasn't liking the pillaging of piglets?
Not at all. Nothing about it. Nothing about it appealed to me. Nothing.
Like it goes to show we make anything fun just by the bench.
Yeah, just us being foolish.
Stupidity.
Us being foolish was hilarious.
But on his own, I'm not about that game.
Okay.
No. So I was happy that we got a chance to play that. I'm playing this game called Loop Hero.
Okay.
Addict talked about it.
Okay.
Addict championed this game. This game is probably the ugliest game next to Vampire Survivor. So imagine
it's better than Vampire
Survivor. It look like it's on an Amiga. And you get this game that's supposed to be on a floppy disk. And you're playing it, and I'm so damn hooked. I am so damn hooked in this game. It pulled me from all my
Game Pass.
passes. Yeah, that's shout out to Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius.
It's recently in Game Pass?
Yes.
I championed that game 2 years ago.
Yes, you did.
Oh, no. So I'm like, yo, y'all late. Y'all late, son. Y'all late.
You said it 2 years ago, but 2 years ago it wasn't in Pass.
Oh, here we go.
I told you, if a tree fall in the forest, I don't hear it.
It's the
unless
Game
it's on my
Pass
front
effect.
lawn.
We got
That's
you.
right.
We got you,
Game Pass. But yeah, I'm playing that. I can't say it more. Just like Vampire Survivor. It may look basic, but once you start peeling back those layers, I got the necromancer out. I'm summoning skeletons to fight and
Get your little minions.
It's when you try it, you'll love it. That's it. It's the ugliest looking thing though. Don't go in there. Yeah, that thing
Yeah,
can be
it
done on
is
your
a
cell
straight
phone.
DOS game. Like it's a straight MS DOS.
Shit, MS DOS. Straight
Yo,
from
the
the
guy
okay.
walking around like you have an Atari 2600. Like the little man, he do this.
Yeah.
The only thing I think I would prefer in that game over what they did is you have no control over your character. I understand why they did it, but I would have preferred to have turned that into a turn-based game, or you can make it into a mindless just manage, like, because that's pretty much what it is. It's a management game. Like you manage your equipment, you manage the tiles around you to get more stuff to go into another run. You manage who you fight because you can use Oblivion on stuff that you feel like, yeah, I'm not about that smoke for this one or today.
Gotcha.
But I would have preferred if they would have had a second mode that's like, look, if you want more control of your actual character, we're gonna give you this turn-based side of it too.
Okay, no doubt. Shout out to God's Hitman. He wants to know what's the game again. He said,
Loop Hero.
Loop Hero. No doubt. And of course, we have the gaming ninja himself, the Shinobi, LordCognito, spread that realness in the realm of the ILP, not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. Shout out to Ryan McCaffrey. Shout out to Podcast Unlocked, having me pull up. Had a good time over there. Those guys, looks like Destin came back, talking about what was going on. Shout out to Defining Duke, Mr. Matty Plays, talking that JosephStaten and that Netflix situation, which we will get into as well. Shout out to The Last Word, Ebontis, Ty Guy Travis, talking about all these bugs going on in Destiny, which is a bit crazy. Yeah, talk about that. As far as games, I have been playing, obviously, Minecraft Legends with you guys. Ghostwire Tokyo, still rocking and rolling. Really like that game. Like the relationship between the kind of that spirit entity that's hosting your body and the main character and what's going on. The performance is still but I really like what they're trying to do, and you be getting your little hand signal on, your little powers and all that. So I'm liking that. And then what else? Make sure you guys check out lordsofgaming.net this week. There's some stuff coming. Hopefully ended this week. I'm really excited to talk about, really excited to show you guys. I gotta be one of them NDA dudes right now, but I'm really excited to see, want you guys to see what we got cooking up on that. And no poll last week because we did a 8-hour show, and Cox forgot and went to sleep. So we're gonna get back on track with that, and no honey and all that, none of that today, right? But
No, get back on track. Today. Actually, real quick, I do want to say though, I never read YouTube chats because sometimes you get in there and somebody's gonna in there trying to insult you or whatever the case. I don't generally read them, but we appreciate all the feedback.
Yes.
But last week I felt like let me see what people are saying after that show. And I've never seen such an overwhelming amount of just love shown in one space, in spaces that are generally can be toxic, right?
Yes.
The conversation goes left a lot of
almost
time.
100% positive.
Yeah, it was really something cool to see. So thank all of you guys for all the love you guys showed in the chat. It was really something special. Even the people that kind of like hated a little bit, but it was funny. He was like, "You guys are awesome. Too bad you hitched yourself to the Xbox."
Yeah, I saw somebody say that. Yeah.
I was like, too bad you hit yourself to this sinking ship. I'm like, damn.
Too bad you have friends over there.
So immediately people jump on. Oh, but Saab plays mostly on PC. What are you talking about?
Somebody our fans, the realm let that boy have it. It's like, clearly you don't watch, you don't know what's going on. It's like King is the one that this, that. I was like, oh, this warmed my heart. I was like, all right.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying?
Man. So thank you guys. That was really heartwarming to see, man. Because I've never seen a chat with that much love in it, and very little vitriol. Very, very.
Yeah,
the turnout was crazy.
It was super. Let's get these super chats because I already see people in. I see Jay Barry in there. Everybody acting up. You gotta get these super chats.
Let me copy paste that last one from Barry, and then I'll scroll back. Okay.
And I got a Patreon question after that.
Okay, cool. We got Necromancer Zale, member for 1 year, $10 super chat. Got my ILP Valari pillow Friday and used it for the trials in Destiny 2.
All right.
Went solo flawless for the first time on my first attempt. Coincidence?
Woo! That Valari did that.
Yes, that Valari, baby.
That's right. We had the premium gaming comfort.
He said they may have to be banned like Cronus and Zim. It's an unfair advantage to the
man,
Valari.
but you don't need to know what you're doing. Just keep on, man. Keep going to the lighthouse.
Then we have Robert Kellett, new member. Shout out to Robert Kellett. Put the crest in the chat for Robert Kellett. Thank you, brother. $2 super chat. Any of the Lords played the Pixel remasters? I had them downloaded on my Steam Deck, God knows for how long. Yeah. Have not played them yet.
Attic, did you pick it up? Why is his mouth? Oh, I can't with him right
chill,
now.
What
chill, bro? What chill? You gonna have let me play with my joystick come on here soon. You keep that up.
Yo.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that was
like I have to like focus where the lens is. Like, well, the reason it zooms in like that is to find out where it needs to focus. Because if I would have did it like here, it would have focused on the actual wall.
You need to focus.
It's not on Xbox. I don't know.
Oh, and will they be? No, right?
No,
yes.
No, they're not.
No.
I mean, I might still play. Here's the thing. It's not that it's on Xbox. Not the reason of playing it. It's the fact that I just got so much stuff going on that I do want to eventually stream all of them. Because, and I remember I was talking to Solve, and Solve's like, play all of them. I'm like, dude, you don't realize how many times I've beat multiple of those games. Like, it won't take long.
It won't. I've seen him play FF7 on the Switch, and he was just flying through there. So I was like, okay.
Breezing through. Yeah, I was surprised. I figured he'd pick it up on Switch, though.
No, I wouldn't pick it up on Switch.
It's a Pixel remaster.
No, I would pick it up on probably Steam. I'm not giving PlayStation my money.
Oh! Okay. What did they do? Wait, hold on. We ain't gonna let you breeze past that. What did PlayStation do that you can't give them the money?
They paid Square Enix. I'm not giving them more money for them to pay Square Enix not to have games come to Xbox. Like,
there we go.
I'm not.
You taking a stand? That's what this is we doing?
Look, I'm damned if I do when it comes to their first party because I actually play games. So I gotta deal with that. But no, like that's other places. It's not, and I could play to other places. So I'm not.
Do you think that's the situation here, though? Do you think that's the situation here? Whether that was a block move? I don't know if this one was a block move. I don't know why.
I'm still under the impression that Square Enix is probably in talks with Sony about buying them. Because
so what you gonna do then?
Huh?
So what you gonna do then if they just own them?
Then I won't take a stand because they own them at that point.
So they're gonna bend the knee and go over there.
No, it's not bending the knee. It's just being realistic. If they own it, like I don't mind if you buy something and you rip it off other platforms. I mind if you spend money not to go on other platforms, like because there's two different practices. One is you're investing into that entire ecosystem. The other is you're just trying to make sure other people don't play this game.
you ain't feeling that. All right, interesting. All right, let's see.
No, but I haven't. You're
a stronger man.
And what's funny? Huh?
No, you're a stronger man than me. Continue.
No, but it's just like, and people say, well, why would they block that? Why? I don't know. Like, why'd they block Final Fantasy VII Remake that came out 3 years ago to come on the platform? Like, if Sony can make the competition look weaker than they are, they're going to do it. Like, I don't understand how that's like a lost concept for people. Why would they do this? Why would they do that? Because it's Sony, and they have. What's funny is there's literally documents out there proving that they do this stuff, and people still come out there and say, "Why would they do it?" Like, I don't know. Go ask Sony.
Seems personal.
I'm not the one out there spending money. Sony is. Go ask them.
It seems personal. But we gonna move on to these pictures. I'm sorry, I had to get him started.
You know what it is?
I wanted to know there was something behind this.
I just don't think it's always so. Sometimes I think some of these Japanese companies have an apathy to Xbox for whatever the reason. I don't know why.
What if it's just economics and they like the numbers ain't what the numbers need to be, and we want to go over here where we can ensure our great numbers? What if it's as simple as that?
No,
we don't want to thin the numbers out.
No, the reason I don't believe that is because I've actually talked to people, and they say 9 times out of 10, unless it's like a very niche game, there's no realm where a Final Fantasy game port doesn't make money on Xbox. It's it's being chose not to do that. You know how long I was told theoretically a port for Final Fantasy VII Remake would take? 4 months, and they said they could easily pay for that in a couple weeks. Like it's not that. Like people be sitting here acting like it takes all this time and resources. I've talked to multiple devs. It does take time and resources, but it's not as much people be thinking. The bulk of the bulk of the project goes to making the core product. And then when you start to talk about the porting ends, that takes a significant less amount of money than the porting itself.
Especially now, because these machines are very similar. That is
fair enough. Fair enough. Attic has spoken. Continue, Saul, with the super chat.
okay. Let's put the crest in the chat. Hold on, let's go back. For Callian Brown, member for 2 months, Lord Bronze. Put the crest in the chat. Thank you.
Yeah, Killian Brown is dope.
Killian.
Then we got Slow Mo Backslap, member for 34
Hey, hold on, real quick. Jabari, get out of here with that nonsense. If it wasn't worth their time and effort, why'd they put Crisis Core? Explain that to me, Jabari.
We kind of got you there, Jabari.
Explain that to me right now in the chat. If it wasn't worth, why did they put something on the PSP on the platform?
I have to give Attic that part because Crisis Core doesn't make any sense. They're not consistent. That's the issue. The issue is Square isn't consistent. If nothing makes sense to put on Xbox, then why put anything?
You know why Crisis Core is put on there? Because PlayStation know that is low-key promoting the own stuff that's only on their platform.
Interesting.
Oh, you can play Crisis Core. I love this story, this universe. How do I play it? You got to play PlayStation. You got to buy a PlayStation. That's the only reason that game is on Xbox.
I will give you this. The other inconsistency is Octopath 1. Why doesn't PlayStation have that? And then Octopath 2. Again, my thing is probably there's some bags going on, but I agree with the inconsistency. If it truly doesn't make sense to make on Xbox, you don't put it on Xbox at all. But we'll see. Let me continue.
We got
Urban Addict going in. Yo, they stupid.
Hood Addict.
Hood Addict.
All right, there we go. Slow Mo Backslap, Lord Bronze. Who's getting content now, you Destiny bums? The Division content for a year and 2 games. What's Destiny future in 3 years?
We got a roadmap, sir. Wait, when is this thing going? This dude's been quiet for 3 years. They get like a little DLC popping off. What's going on?
They got mobile stuff. That's a mobile game.
Oh man, I might pick it up on Ubisoft Plus and then unsubscribe after I'm done. Salute to Slow Mo finally getting to talk after 4 years. We got Final Shape, sir. You ain't got nothing to compete with that. Continue. We have a roadmap, sir.
Then we have Nintendo the Otaku, $5 super chat. Crazy how Cog abused his power to remove Nintendo from the show.
I love how none of y'all are responsible for topics. None of y'all. It's me. I'm the end all be all. No, he don't go to King. He don't go to Addict. He don't go to Solve with the Nintendo.
He picks them all. That's it.
I'm the one that removes everything.
Then we got Robert Kellett, a new member, $2 super chat. Can't wait for another 8-hour epic, fam. Not today, sir.
Nah, we not doing that today. We not doing that today. Oh no.
Hey, buddy.
Big Mad Bo, member for 33 months, Lord Bronze. Salute to the realm and the lords. Thank you, sir. What's up, brother?
Salute.
We got Hollywood Rules, member for 15 months, Lord Silver. Happy Sunday, Lords. Fight night was spicy last night. Thank you, King. I don't get to see all the fights, so your show is huge. ILP, the best pod, period. Thank you, brother.
This dude said Cog is Nintendo racist. I'm done. I came up with coming in hot with the Switch. Come on now. Stop it.
Bigotry against Mario.
Oh, my Lord.
Then we got Cypher Poll, 92, member for 1 year, £5 super chat. For those of you that don't tune into Combat Talk, you're missing out. King's insights in real time hit different.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
He knows what he's talking about. And got Sith Lord member for 6 months, $5 super chat. I want people to send some love to Randolph Thor 19.
Yes.
His dog Shakespeare passed away this week. I know the pain of losing your best friend.
Yeah, salute to Rand, man. I got very fortunate. One of the few people actually to meet Rand in person and came through the crib. Yo, Shakespeare is a huge dog. Like, it's a big rescue dog. That remember like the old, what's the cartoons of the dog? With the like, he literally is the epitome of that. Like, when I first saw that dog, I was like, Rand, I don't know if I can come through in the crib if I ain't getting past that. He's like, nah, Shakespeare's cool. The most lovable dog, huge. If you ever watch Xbox 2, you would hear Shakespeare bark because he was really big, really loud. So condolences to his friend and everything. Yeah, that's a tough one. I know how that is, man. Brother.
Yeah, that's tough. That's horrible. All right. And then we have Jay Barry. $20 super chat. Yo, Cog, no excuses. So what if the podcast is 7 to 8 hours? Put up the poll. Pause. Yes.
He put pause.
He put pause.
Shout out to Barry, man. Them 8-hour podcasts will do it to you, man. Just go straight to sleep. We get it right. 1
second. I'll be back.
No doubt.
Then we have Robert Kellett, $2 super chat. Square might as well be Sony first party. I mean, that is the natural next step, right? That's what kind of feels like it's coming. Okay, then I got jumped a little bit. Let me go back. God, we definitely got jumped. Hold on. Okay, here we go. We got THX1138, $2 super chat. Bang, bang. Shout out to you, sir. Bang, bang.
Bang, bang. That's it? Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Bang, bang.
No doubt.
Then we have GSD, a.k.a. Getting Stuff Done, $5 super chat. Congrats on the success and discipline to earn it. I got my Labrie pillow. No more sock, no more cream.
Whoa. Whoa. What you doing, sir? What you doing? What are you doing, sir?
I'm paying free.
Whoa. What's the socks and the cream about?
Sock and cream,
What's the socks and the cream about, fam? Well, y'all know what you be doing with these Valaris, but that's in your own.
Listen, we appreciate the support. Do as you will.
Do as you will. You ain't got to put that out there like that.
Then we have Jay Rembert, $2 super chat. Addict is 100% about Square. Yeah, Addict is in his bag about Square. It's true. It is the weirdest situation ever.
It's just inconsistencies, yeah.
Then we have Michael Askew Jr., $5 super chat. Cog being messy on Sunday, getting Addict at Super Saiyan level 2.
I just ask questions, So what if it may set him off? That's questions. That's all.
There we have Lord Metroid, $2 super chat. I agree with my Nintendo brother. Cog, stop it. all the Nintendo hate that goes on.
They coming for me today. Shout out to the 10 gang.
Because he said he wasn't the biggest fan of what he saw on Zelda. That's the only reason.
Yeah. If you criticize anything from them. Oh, Lord.
Then we have Slowmo Backslap, $5 super chat. What is a final shape? Your final DLC? We'll be having Division Heartland and the upcoming Division 3 before you get a new Destiny PvP map.
I'm not gonna lie. Part of me hopes that final shape's the last thing.
Sir, can you give me your active users on Division? Can you give me your stats? Because I have the stats for even the worst DLC, so to speak, Lightfall blows all records away. But I think look, you're happy. They finally gave you a piece of crumb. It's something that you've been waiting for.
A piece of a crumb.
They gave you a piece of crumb, and you do pop the bottles.
Destiny, at this point, I'm just like, I just want it to end at this point.
I feel you, but that's not what the numbers say. But we're gonna move on. We understand that you're done.
It's still. It doesn't take away the fact it's still like, how like people in the chat wouldn't get you guys wouldn't get this, but King would. It's like equivalent to like what Madara did with the Allied forces. Destiny dropped 2 giant meteors on them.
Yeah, that's it. It always goes back to the active users. Yeah, the facts. You always going to pull up those metrics. Nobody playing your game, Slow-Mo. It's called facts, Slow-Mo.
The amount of people playing the game has no relevance whatsoever.
Just because you like it and you got your pom-poms with Division, no one else cares. That's the fact, sir. Get out of here, you Division guys. Scram. Crumb Cake Edition Division.
If that argument worked, Xbox would be lit right now.
Exactly. So what? You pulled up the facts. I'm on your neck. You keep super chat. I will stay. I will flame you out of here, you Division guys. Y'all know not to mess with me. I'm being nice.
Thank God that came up while I had to go to the bathroom.
Oh yeah, continue.
Here we have THX1138, $2 super chat. ILP, the high-end podcast. No family hardware.
Okay. Oh Lord, salute.
Then we have Robert Kelly, once again, $2 super chat. Cog anti-Italian, mamma mia.
Buddha, he said, Cog, if the active uses GTA is better. Okay, yeah, GTA Online is fire. It's not a MMO though. I'm talking about the MMO space.
Hold on a second. Then we have Randy G, $5 super chat. What will Square say if Final Fantasy 16 doesn't meet expectations? I doubt that'll happen. But
I hope it does though. Like I have my own little faults with Square Enix and Sony, but I still want the Final Fantasy brand to be what it used to be. Like I'm still gonna play their games. It's just like when it comes to this you know, the Final Fantasy 16. As much as they have.
Oh, you gonna boycott?
No, it's only on PlayStation.
No, but
what am I gonna do?
They pay for exclusivity. It's coming to Xbox, baby. So you know, I thought you was gonna take a stand.
But oh my god, it's only on PlayStation. Like,
but
they
said that in the bottom it said that it's still coming. It's a 1 year or whatever it is, 6 months. And
okay, I'm not waiting a year. When have I ever waited a year for anything?
I thought we was gonna take a stand together. We was gonna fight.
No, I've said multiple times. I've literally made videos saying, "Look, you could boycott if you want, but I ain't doing that."
Okay, but you boycott the Pixel remaster though.
I said I was gonna buy it on PC, not PlayStation.
Oh, you did.
I mean, you
my bad. I'm being messy.
My bad. Pot. That's fine.
I am being super messy with you right now.
I prefer to give that 30% of money to Steam than I would to give that to PlayStation.
Jesus Christ. You are on your square with this. I respect it. Continue, son. I'll be messy.
Let me see. Hold on a second. Yes. That's it. We're caught up.
All right, cool. Now we got a weird one with the Patreon. Not weird, but just a lot of information, I should say. Shout out to Sack Shop on the Lord's Day. Patreon question. We spend with the Lords. We have all seen the death rattle from Redfall recently with the news of Don't Nobody Want This Nouveau. I mean, it's that software, right? The cheating software being included with the PC version of the game. Mm-hmm. Lord Solve, you know what this means if others don't we have all, the spelling a little bit, have all heard about these anti-cheat tag along programs that can make the game objectively worse to then several months later remove it. Typically once the game is no longer selling, to only see the major improvement in performance. With that being said, are we now ready to maybe say that Redfall is not a game Microsoft really cares about? They're acting like that girl in the corner who needs that bread for the fix, but is acting like she been clean for 47 years. We tired of the games, man. We hungry and we want some food. Love you guys. And I have to say this because King said it, otherwise my bleep might be in trouble. Dance, monkey, dance.
Jeez, good Lord.
He had balls.
That's a lot.
Yeah, a lot of balls. So I guess the Nouveau joint.
Nouveau on PC.
And then does Microsoft really care about the Redfall situation?
Well, I mean, again, it's a brand new game coming out. You know, it's actually the first game out of Bethesda, right, coming out that's exclusive to the console, right? To the console. So it's important. But at the same time, as the hardcore, we see some of the things that they're doing that we feel like they're gimping themselves and they're stepping on a rake unnecessarily. The 30 FPS thing is big to us. It may not be big in the grand scope of things, but to us it's important. And I think it does the game a disservice for it to come out on consoles, not 30 FPS, when you know it's going to be hitting 60 on PC. Now, the idea of it hitting 60 on PC is hindered by the fact that De Nouveau has been known to absolutely destroy performance on PC.
Yes.
And what we realize is that the purpose of De Nouveau at the launch of a game is to ensure that it isn't bootlegged.
Correct.
Right?
And it's a bootleg for a week later.
Again, because depending on the game and depending on the implementation, De Nouveau might be broken within a week, right? And then it doesn't really matter. But maybe depending on the game, like they say in a Final Fantasy 16, a game of that sort of, those sort of epic proportions, let's say it comes out on PC day one, right? You want to make sure that as many people that plan to buy that game are able to purchase it without some sort of out of left field way to acquire the game without paying for it. So if it's a couple of days, if it's a week, I guess it's worth it to them to implement that and screw everything else up. But again, it has been known to absolutely destroy performance, at least early on. And, you know, the devs know this, the publishers know this, and they talk around it when, De Nouveau is causing this, that, and the other. And then, you know, a couple of weeks later, we've removed it or whatever, because we got the sales. You know, sales begin to plateau for whatever reason. And they figure, okay, it's okay to just leave it out there. And then all those performance issues are sort of rectified. So if you look at that in the grand scope of things, and you're like, okay, so you're gimping it on console, you're kind of gimping it on PC as well. It's not like the Game Pass version isn't gimped with De Nouveau as well, right? So everywhere that you turn, there is a but when it comes to this game. So, yes, can somebody infer, hey, what are you doing to this brand new game that's coming out to your platform, and why are you treating it this way? I don't, again, they may have other numbers that indicate that all the stuff we care about isn't important in the grand scheme of things. We'll see. To us, it's important. And I do think they're not giving the game the leg up that it deserves. I think so. From a hardcore perspective. Again, I don't know that it matters for a more casual player or generally. That's the way I feel about it. But for me as a hardcore, all those things lined up together means that it's gimped in a way that I feel they know that it's going to be gimped. And for whatever reason, it isn't imperative on them to sort of not release the game in that fashion.
Got you. So, Addict, do you feel that, according to my man Sack Shop, does Microsoft even care about Redfall with all this situation with the PC, the nouveau anti-cheat stuff, and the 30 frames console stuff?
You guys know how I feel about PC. Like, pull that stuff straight off that platform. Part of me is like, I do think they care about it. If they did, they wouldn't have delayed it. But I do think they've gotten to the point where we can't delay it again. Not even from a perspective of the perception of the game, but where is it going to launch? Like I said, here in a couple of weeks, Zelda's going to be there. A couple of weeks after that, Final Fantasy 15. Right now, Jedi will be out in a couple of days. Like, they're already competing with Jedi, and out of all the stuff that is coming out, Jedi is probably the only one you really wanted to compete with if you had to. I mean, in June you have Final Fantasy and you have Diablo, and then Starfield a month after that. So it's just like, look, like they have a whole lot of options, to be honest with you. Like, it's not an excuse. I personally feel like they should have delayed it, but I can understand from like a schedule wise, where are you going to put it? Like this was literally one of the only times that you could put something like that. Are you going to delay it into the end of the year and then compete with Call of Duty then? And then not to mention Forza's probably come out in like September, October. You're going to compete with that?
Yeah, tough spot, way to put it.
And then you're going to look at from the bad PR. That's like, look, it's not 60. That's going to make a small portion of people mad on Twitter that actually knows what 60 frames is compared to 30. But is the perception of losing more trust that we push something out upsetting people? And then you look at it from this point, the same people in that chat that says, yo, why is Redfall have 30 frames? Guess what they would say too? They delayed it because they want you to give the 30 frames. Why they miss that June date? Why this game's been delayed multiple times? What's going on?
Been like this delay for a year.
It's like, let's be real here. I prefer the delay. I wouldn't even care about the PR they're going to get, but they were going to get smoked regardless. And to me, it's like it was with the Halo. The co-op. I ain't played co-op in forever. Most of the time, it's online co-op. I didn't care when they cut that. Now, when they cut the online co-op from the game at launch, that was different. But even though there's people like me that would have played with you guys or Kid Smooth, am I to tell them to delay a game off of the minority of people that would have played this game that would have preferred it at 60 frames when I see countless people always playing they don't play the performance modes, they're constantly playing the fidelity modes? Like, look, I don't know, that's a tough thing. I still would have preferred them to push it just so I could play it at the best performance.
I'm sorry,
but at the end of the day, what am I doing? I can't force them to do something.
No, I get it. No, we're gonna see. It's a good question as far as what if the populace truly, the console gaming space truly will not buy something because of 60 frames. We're gonna learn a lot about that. King, real quick about the Redfall for the Patreon question. Do you think Microsoft even care about it because of the launching at 30 and the adding the anti-cheat software on PC?
Well, the anti-cheat software, I don't play on PC, so I wouldn't know about it. So I don't really, subscribe to what they're doing with that. From what I'm hearing from you guys, they remove it a week later anyway. So it is what it is. They wouldn't have sent all these influencers to small meet and greets to promote this game to the extent that they have if they didn't care about the game. They've been promoting this game very well. From the new metrics, how we do it now, it's usually on social media. The game has been tweeted out, and and it's up to their development team to get the word out on stuff that's changing and happening with the game. I think Microsoft cares about the game. I think a lot of you guys care about the game more than Microsoft cares about the game, because you're scrutinizing every move for the game. Let the game come out and then talk about the game. So, me personally, I think Microsoft is treating it just like any other IP coming out the door, and it's literally their first marketed game coming from Bethesda, because HiFiRush was a stealth drop and stuff.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, I don't got about too much. You guys pretty much knocked it. As far as the PC version, I agree with you, Solve. The that software, anti-cheat software, to me is always to try to ensure revenue, whatever.
Early
stuff.
on, yeah.
Because I think even Ghostwire now, which already came out, I think is putting it in, so people anticipate, new content or something like that. So that's how I see it. I don't agree that, with the performance thing. I hate that aspect about it. That's kind of sucks. As far as does Microsoft care? No, I think they care about Redfall. They definitely do. To me, I think this is, if I'm going to put a guess, I think this is them cracking the whip, so to speak, in the sense that it's got to come out. And regardless to whether maybe the way Bethesda had operated in the past pre-acquisition versus Microsoft's end goals, which is they want to promote that, that they have the most powerful console. And even though that the 60 frames won't be in time, the fact that they put out a message that says, oh, it's going to come, at whatever, shows to me that they care about that. Even though it's going to upset people when it's not available at launch. I get it, because I'm not happy it's not there at launch. But to me, it does show that they care about it. They do other little things that show me that they care about it. So that's where I'm at. To me, the key is going to be if the game is good or not. Because if the game is good, like King said, nobody's really going to care anymore. It's just, it has to review well, though, because it has a lot of pressure coming into it with the, the always online, the what you call the IGN gameplay, fiasco thing, and now the 30 frames. So now it's already had it got negative momentum coming. It's up to them that this game needs to be good. If it's good, gamers will forget and everybody be popping, and you see a green Metacritic score and they can throw their chests out. Yeah, you know how it go. But if it's one of them 60-something and them yellow joints, it's going to get the smoke. Yep. It's going to get the smoke, and they're going to be like, yo, you should have delayed it or whatever. So anyway, that's what I got. We are going to move on. Attic, you are up, man. This game came out. You was one of them NDA boys for a little bit on this Dead Island 2. It's out in these streets. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so like I said, people that wasn't in the chat earlier, our review will be going live after the show. It'll be premiering. I will definitely send you over there. I privated the video because somehow some of you are getting your hands on videos.
We got what's going on.
We got some infiltrators in the cut.
We're gonna start implementing the nouveau on.
We got to bring the frame rate of the podcast down. Y'all in here infiltrating.
I know. I first noticed them when we did the Redfall content. Before embargo, we had them unlisted. And we were trying to figure out if we wanted to premiere them, maybe not premiere them, do something different. And I've noticed the views were going up, and I'm like, okay, Cog has a link.
It's only about 6 of us.
Yeah, so why is there 50 views?
And now,
so I was like, yeah, from now on it's going on private, and then right before the podcast ends, I'll put it as a scheduled tweet. So it's just like, look, I don't know. Do you have questions you want to ask me about this game?
Yeah, I just, obviously the history about it.
Did you play any Saul? Because I know,
unfortunately not. All my gaming time went to Minecraft and Fortnite. And then the lady Saul was like, no, you're done. You're done.
No, I guess the question. Obviously, the game has been in development for a long time, like 9 years. I think they showed this thing, one of them old E3s I went to. I was like way back in the day when I first saw it. So we know about the changes. So I guess, the first thing off the bat is speaking to Matt and stuff, like how visceral is it, the open world aspect and just in general, the fun level, as you have people go past your screen, which is awesome. But But just in general, like how I heard like it's really visceral, and how is that in the gameplay, overall?
This might be one of the best looking games on the Xbox Series X.
Oh,
yeah, it's definitely one of the most visually stunning looking games ever. And not even just graphics. It's like the small features they do. Like when I hit, there's like assassination animations where like if you're using like melee weapons, like let's say brass knuckles or something, if you stun them and do the correct prompts, you literally punch a hole through their head. Like it's some of the craziest gore I've ever seen. Like I noticed when like I knocked down a zombie, I cut his leg off so he couldn't chase me anymore. And then when he's sitting there like he's crawling to me. And then I cut one of his arms off so he couldn't crawl. And then like when you go behind him and you're hitting like the back of his back, like you see the gashes that you're doing on him and blood's coming off it, and the material that the shirt he had was what was being hit to, and you could see the material everywhere behind him. And you know what's funny is I was playing with Kid Smooth, and Kid Smooth was he was killing some of the zombies. He's like, you know what? He's like they do dead black people better than other people do alive.
I can't. Shout out to Kids Food.
Yeah, so it's definitely a very visual looking game.
Yeah, I did see something. Somebody had like some claws, like Wolverine thing, and they're like, you could get in this zombie like mouth and the jaw come off and hanging from the side, like all type of brutality. I'm hearing like the visceralness of it. So that is crazy. So then, like in terms of, we got to get to the elephant in the room. What a lot of people consider one of the top zombie games would be like a, Dying Light and all that comparison. So like, you said visually nothing ain't touching it, but what about the sandbox and the things that Dying Light do?
Sandbox of Dying Light's better.
Okay. Okay.
But after you get over the fact that you can't jump over every little nook and cranny that's in the game, and you start to like really put yourself in Dead Island 2 and not Dying Light, you start to like realize, okay, I will say the combat in Dead Island is better than the combat in Dying Light.
Oh, so because I feel like good. Okay.
Yeah, because I felt in control for the most part when I was doing stuff,
But is there parkour elements?
There's no parkour. No.
Okay.
There's none.
So grounded, typical.
It's a very grounded. Like it's Dead Island 1, but Dead Island 2. Like,
gotcha. Okay.
But they increased all the little things that you would expect for them to increase. Like I remember if they have no problem overwhelming you with zombies. Like there's a lot of incidences in this game where they're like, just run. Don't try to fight them. There's too many of them. So they put these things in here, like, there's like these water cans that you can put water everywhere. And then you have like the, what we used to do is I would put the water everywhere, and Smooth would have like the electric baton, and he would just start hitting the water, lightning everyone. And you see the lightning reaching up and just hitting the zombies and keeping them in place. Like
that's what's up.
That's funny.
So then I was looking at a Lords of Gaming review. Shout out to my man Magic Gene. He actually gave it. He gave it a 8, I believe. Yep, he gave it an 8. Cool. Now you talked about the combat. You talked about the visual style, but what about like the crafting and the narrative? That's what I want to know, like how you feel about the story. Cause
narrative is a very safe narrative. Like you're not gonna expect anything more, really. Like, look, I don't think anyone will play a zombie apocalypse game or watch a zombie apocalypse movie for the narrative. Let's be real here. Like,
gotcha.
It's always very simplistic. We are stuck in a town. There's zombies everywhere. And we're trying to survive.
Gotcha.
I literally just told you the beginning, middle, and end of this game, pretty much.
Gotcha.
But
we're here for the experience.
But they do a lot of nice mechanics in the game that make the gameplay change different. That there is exploration. Like there's this mission where they're like, "Yo, go into this place," and then that leads you going to a hotel, and you're like 20 floors up, and there's fire everywhere, and you have to like go back and forth between the elevator shafts, and it's just like little things like that. And that's in Dying Light. It's like I would say, the line between this and Dying Light is very thin. The only difference between these two games really is the parkouring to a degree.
Gotcha.
I do feel like some of the the actual zombies in this is just part of my language, batshit crazy. Like they got like screamers like that. Ooh. That if what's funny is like that State of Decay like joint. Yeah, I picked the person that had the highest agility, and one of her abilities is like, let's say a screamer is screaming, you can't get close to them because of that the vortex that they put out. Mm-hmm. I had an ability where I would literally pretty much just like jolt in front of them and hit them, and then sooner or later I got that ability to where when I hit them, it electrocutes them. But it hurt me. Like they just got a lot of the only thing I could really criticize this game for is I didn't like the card system. It was like how they did the level up.
You don't like that about cards.
Yeah, I like card stuff, but I don't like this. And what it was pretty much is like they give you cards throughout the game, and it's their version of your RPG tree, where you have to put a card in a certain section. And afterwards, you kind of get used to it, but I'm like, just give me RPG trees. I'd prefer that than look at this card. What's this card do? What's this card do? You find them randomly throughout the game too. It's definitely got a lot of depth into it. There's a lot of different things you can do. I did like how they kind of put the one things that I've always liked about the Dead, the zombie games is I love Dead Rising's psychos. Okay. And they kind of have that a little bit in here. That's one of the biggest thing I've always loved is how they do the Dead Rising psychos, like where you fight I'll never forget, like in Dead Rising 2, where you fight the psycho in the bathroom with the glass. Like they have a glass and they're going between the stalls and grab you and stab you. Like it's stuff like that. I really enjoy, and they have a little bit of that in here.
Acting like the most wildest. A king don't even kill. He love all the most visual.
He is too giddy over.
If you look at the remake of that game too, like. When the psycho's moving, he's cutting himself at the same time. Wow, he's crazy. I mean, they call them psychos for a reason.
Last question I got for you is reference to the cooperative asset. Is it like drop in, drop out?
Drop in, drop out.
Okay, cool. Is there tethering? Do you have to stay next to you? And kid had to kind of be, or could y'all go off?
If there was tethering, it was so large of a scale I didn't notice it.
Okay, no doubt.
But there is. Not only dropping in and drop out, but you do keep the progression on both
sides.
So
that's big. That's big.
Smooth. That's the first thing I tested. I was like, Kid Smooth, I'm popping out of here. I'm see if it kept your stuff. And it did.
No doubt. So we got your full review going up live after the show. You know what I'm saying? Premiere. So go stick around for that. It's going to be some good content. Also, go to lordsofgaming.net because we got our review up there as well. My man, Magic Gene, you know what I'm saying, had his thoughts on it. Anything else, King or Sov, on Dead Island before we move on?
It's not a Game Pass.
Oh my! That's all you care about. Shout out to King.
They wanted to play it there to put it in Game Pass.
Oh, okay, that's what that is. That's what. That's your assessed of the situation. So
I'm glad it's a good game. Obviously this game has been developed for like a decade, and
I was very happy with the results. Obviously I'll get in a little bit more detail in the review, but I was definitely because I kind of felt like there was no way this game wasn't going to work. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And playing it, I was pleasantly wrong, and I'm happy with that because especially just the characters, like the characters all have depth, like the characters you pick.
Yeah,
and it kind of reminded me like a Final Destination moment where everyone, like the beginning of the game, everyone's at a plane, and you see all these people come together to get in this plane. And the plane goes down, and then they make you choose one of the people in the plane as your main character.
Oh, okay. Salute. Go check that out, y'all.
Wish we could have had an interview at PAX East.
I know, it would have been great. It
would have been great to have more information beforehand on this game.
Salute to the team at PAX East. You got a chance to demo that joint. But that's what I got. Sam, you have some super chats you have to read.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Yeah, Robert Kellett, $2 super chat. Expect 30 FPS on Xbox outside of Forza and Gears.
If that's the case, case, I'm on PC full time. Like on the real. If that's the case, I'm on PC full time. I'm not playing Redfall on PC. If I
even on console,
the only way I wouldn't do it is if I didn't get if like the Xbox code didn't carry over to PC. But as of right now, if I'm able to, I will be playing Redfall on PC. I'm not playing on Xbox.
Then we have Mike Askew Jr., member for 2 years, $5 super chat. Let me find out ILP crew turning on to Among Us with the content leaks. Yeah.
Somebody did it.
Somebody out here leaking.
Let's play with each other's joysticks. $5 super chat. Sav, don't worry. I will let you play with joysticks as much as you want. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
He just put upset. I don't like your girlfriend. So you need another one.
Wow.
Then we have Mike Askew Jr., member for 2 years, $2 super chat. Sav, don't fall for it. It's a trap. Yeah. I think that's pretty well clear.
Clearly.
Trap.
Clearly.
I think the only things I wouldn't play on PC, and you couldn't pay me enough, is like massive multiplayer games. Like I will never jump back on PC with Destiny. I will never jump on PC with any type of like highly infrastructured multiplayer, because every single time I've jumped over on that PC nonsense, you can on Among Us, on Destiny, there's been cheating to the max. And what's funny is I will play 10 games of Among Us, and 5 of them someone was cheating, and then someone says it's not every game addict. Yeah, about half of them though.
It's an open.
I feel like that's acceptable.
Open platform in the purest sense.
In the purest sense.
Yes.
No walled gardens here.
Well, if people watch football games, and only half the games that you watch someone's going to cheat, I think people would have issues with it.
Anyway.
There we have Robert Keller, $2 super chat. Psycho Addict, the third evolution. Then we have, let me see anything else. I think we're good. We're caught up.
Slow-mo. There is cheating on consoles very, very reductively. There are cheating, and there's people that use modded controllers, etc. But people acting like they the same, they not.
He going in. He is going in. So look, this is me. We gotta talk about HiFiRush. Lot of talk in these social media streets. Shout out to Jeff Grubb. Looks like on the game where it's kind of the sequence of events where his Game Mess Decides podcast, he said that he had heard that HiFiRush didn't make the money it needed to make. This is a game that was previously described after its surprise instant launch as one of the most successful launches for Bethesda and Xbox in recent years. But he said, based on what he heard, it straight up didn't make the money it needed to make. It got good reviews and the buzz was good. So where do you put the blame on something like that? So it seems like I said that went out. And then after that, Aaron Greenberg actually looks like he replied to that, as well as just going and talking about those comments about that Grubb had made in reference to HiFiRush success. So Greeny says HiFiRush was a breakout hit for us and our players in all key measurements and expectations. We couldn't be happier with what the team at Tango Gameworks delivered with this surprise release. So then shout out to Grubb. He did respond back to Greedy responding to him, and he said, I shouldn't have said needed on the podcast. I don't know what it needed to do. The conversation we were having was about generating revenue, and the game didn't hit that target. But no matter what, HiFiRush isn't a flop, and Tango's future is bright. So this set off a chain of events, because initially when first people heard Grubb's first thing that it didn't do well, people were like, hey, what's going on? And then obviously, Greenberg kind of responding, which kind of rare. He doesn't really respond to a lot of rumors and stuff like that, or Xbox in general. So I wanted to know what the realms, feels about this. That Xbox is confirming that HiFiRush is a success. So let's start with you, Addict. How are we feeling about this?
I felt like it was a fantastic game, and if it didn't succeed in any way, shape, or form, I would have been very disappointed. I do think that Jeff Grubb's sources was right to a degree, but I think it's in a different concept than people think. I think Jeff Grubb probably, talked to someone that talks to people in Microsoft and not in Xbox. And, maybe they were saying from like an output content, they don't know what's going on at Xbox to that degree. And they're probably looking at it from like a financial aspect or something like that. Because they probably just saw the numbers, the strict numbers that they brought back, and they're not putting Game Pass because that's not their philosophy. Who knows where they work at? So I do think there is some truth in that. But here's the thing: it's like I said in the video I made. You know, go out and look no further than them expanding Tango game. You don't expand something that flops. If they flop, they would either be staying exactly where they are or being downsized and being set to a support studio.
Good point.
They wouldn't be, it's like equivalent of me failing, bombing something. We're still gonna pay you. And not only are we gonna pay you, but you know what? King, come help him. He needs help over here, King. Why is King gonna help me when I fail? Imagine what thought process that would have a King. He's like, I don't want to help that loser. He lost.
You messy. You're messy. You're super messy today.
Yeah, it's just they gave them more money. Like, why would Microsoft give a company more money that didn't hit the numbers that they internally wanted, and B, just didn't deliver what they thought they were going to deliver? You don't extend people's budgeting for no reason. It's just like it's crazy that people would think that. And Jeff Grubb, he made a video. It's during the podcast.
How did I catch it? How did the video go?
I didn't watch it either.
Oh, okay.
But clearly he felt away because this is how Jeff Grubb's influence is. People, they go in on Jeff Grubb. Is he right about 100 things? No. But Jeff Grubb's right about a lot of stuff. You guys just like to hyper focus on the stuff he's wrong about and not focus on the stuff he's right about. Yeah, Jeff Grubb made statements on a podcast, and he ended up being the sole reason why HiFiRush was trending all day yesterday.
Bro, it was lit. It was super lit. You even see John Johannes jumping in, taking a little comment.
He was messy. I love that.
Yeah, John Johannes. Shout out to John Johannes. We had a bit of Ralph.
He was taking advantage of a very horrible situation.
No doubt. Lord Sovereign. What do we feel? HiFiRush is a success. Is it not? Is it corporate speak? That's the other thing that's going around. They like, yo, Greeny capping. He just talking to be talking. So here you have it.
Greeny just doesn't talk when he caps. Like he responded by itself means something. Continue. Sorry.
No, listen. It's successful by every metric that they care about. Really, like you guys got to remember. Their method of selling you games now, their primary method of quote unquote selling you games is Game Pass.
But I want to look at the NPD.
That's nice. That's real nice. That's secondary.
But the NPD says
even tertiary. It is not the metric that they care about the most, and they understand and realize that. On Steam, I think it has somewhere close to 500,000 sales. That's great. It's a $40 game. It's a $40 game that in total did better than Forspoken did. A $70 game.
But it wasn't on NPD, so that means it's a failure.
It's a failure, yeah. This is one thing when you talk about how you change the way things are perceived, right? Because you changed the metrics of it, right? And the fact of the matter is that Game Pass has changed that metric. And for Microsoft, the metric is, whether you like it or not, it's engagement. It's how many people are playing the game, because it kind of gives you an idea of where Game Pass is proliferating, right?
Y'all gonna like the poll question that I'm gonna remember this time.
Yeah. So for me, it's just like, the metrics that they care about is Game Pass. How many people in Game Pass are playing this game, right? They got their bag up front. They gave them the bag up front, whatever the case may be. And anything that they make piecemeal, right, a la carte, is fantastic on the side. And for it to sell, for it to be available in Game Pass, a small game, that a game, no matter how good it is, it's a cartoony game, it's a rhythm-based game, it is not for everybody. I don't care what price it is. It's not something that's going to appeal to everybody. So for it to sell 500,000 copies on Steam, and I don't really know the numbers on Epic Game Store. Right. It was on all of these platforms, in addition to being on Game Pass PC, being on Game Pass console. That's what they mostly care about. Everything else is a plus. Piecemeal sales is a plus. Whatever piecemeal sales that they actually got on console, right? Because you still have players on console that I'm assuming would just rather purchase the game than get it from Game Pass. you have that as well. Like, to me, the metric is Game Pass. Their method of sale is Game Pass. This is what they want you to engage with. Everything else is sideshow to them. And if it does amazing numbers in that realm, they're gonna tell you if it does amazing numbers, just to kind of stick it to you anyway. Yeah. But it's not what they really care about. So again, the way Grubb sort of formulated that was kind of it doesn't make sense that would be a conversation that happens. It doesn't make sense that a conversation would happen between whatever Phil Spencer and Satya Nadella about HiFiRush ain't do them sales numbers, but we have 30 million Game Pass subscribers, and most of those people played it at least for a little bit, right? You can't once you've changed the metric internally, you have to understand that other you're actively, and this is I know people give Colin Moriarty a lot of crap for saying this, but it is true. Game Pass as the primary method of proliferating the Xbox ecosystem now is training people not to want to buy games out of cart, because especially first party games, like forget about that. You're going to get it in Game Pass. So it's like, it doesn't make any sense that would be a conversation that happens like, yo, the numbers on HiFiRush is not what it is, unless of course the game goes into Game Pass and you have 1% engagement and you have, we have 30 million Game Pass subscribers and 10,000 people played the game. Then I could see a conversation happen like, okay, this is not successful.
Gotcha.
But beyond that, like it's like apples and oranges now. It really isn't. And the fact that it sold 500,000 on Steam says something.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. Lord King, seen this came by your line. HiFiRush, success being questioned. Greenie jumping outside. We don't really see that. What do you feel about all this, King?
I find it funny that when HiFiRush dropped, everybody was, it's the greatest since sliced bread. PlayStation dudes was like, it's not coming to PlayStation. It should be on PlayStation. And you take one individual that has a source. I'm pretty sure that you can get a couple of sources in Microsoft that can either say that it was a success or it wasn't. If you get a financial dude that only goes by sales numbers, maybe it was not a success to him. Right? So if you use that source, and you won't out your source.
Of course not.
So there you go, right? That's the problem right there. So you won't out your source and say, Ted told me.
Why we got to put Ted Business out there though like that?
Ted an accountant, because Ted an accountant hit you in DM, right? So Ted an accountant told you that the sales numbers wasn't good. And you said, I'm going to run with that. Likes and clicks and views is used. What people got to do, right? If you run something that is tailored around news, you got to be the first with the news, be it right or wrong, and then you can hide behind my source said, my source said, my source said. There's sources in the building that told me that HiFiRush, by every quantifiable metric is a huge success. The game had no marketing, dropped.
That's a good part.
Sold.
Stealth drop.
Sold. You didn't know what was coming. Same day you can go download it. The Steam is a indication of how successful the game is because they have to purchase it.
I'm sorry.
Right?
Excuse said Byron is about to pay Ted a visit. I'm sorry. That was wild funny. Continue.
It's just the fact that y'all look for any little reason to try to tear at any success that Microsoft does have.
Wait, are you implying that there's a certain group of people who do not like success stories from Xbox?
No,
I'm not implying. I'm saying that's what's happening.
I just feel that people think that the negative news towards Microsoft would help them in the short run with certain things. It's easy to hide behind a source, bro. Very easy. Out Ted and accountant.
Why? Nobody is out in their source. Come on.
Grubb is the homie. Because you can sit there and say that this, my source said that this is not this. It didn't do what it's supposed to do. But then you got Greenie come out and Greenie owns it and Greenie says, man, shut up. It did what it was supposed to do. Over here is a success, and by showing you it's a success, we're going to give them the ability to hire more people.
Tom Henderson on. He said, "Leave Ted alone. He's a good guy, King."
Yeah, but you know, I know Ted talked to you a lot.
Oh, he knows Ted too. That's what.
Yeah,
okay.
See, check it out. Tom heard it, and Tom didn't say anything. You know, because it didn't make any sense. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Don't try to make it a bear. Don't chase the views and the likes stuff. I don't want to get into that whole aspect with individual, because it seems like everybody's coming down on this individual for saying something that his source said.
Yeah.
For him, that's real.
Right.
For everybody else, it's not real. Right? So your source makes it real to you. We don't believe your source because what we see in real life, it's doing its thing, right? So I don't care. I saw it on TikTok, I saw it on Instagram, I saw it on Twitter, I saw it on YouTube. It was everybody was streaming it, playing it, and in the zeitgeist with it. So you can't say that game was a flop. And he said it's not a flop.
He did say
yes. Didn't sell to what Microsoft expectations was. That's all.
But do you think this is the thing, right? When you say Microsoft expectations, right? You go back to the singular person.
Let's take into account.
Right. That's the thing. I wonder that, again, and I know this is information that journalists try to get at, right? Like the dirt underneath. How many people at Microsoft, at Xbox, aren't on board with the Game Pass thing?
Right.
And right. How many
That's a good point.
How many internally don't really believe in the whole Game Pass thing and feel like all the card sales are what it is?
That's a good point.
You know, so and that's a real thing. I'm sure there's plenty of people at Microsoft who just are not on the services bag.
Yeah. Let me interrupt you because you are Firesoft. It's funny you said that because I had heard from another Ted. I heard from another Ted in accounting that like for example when we had when Obsidian's Pentiment came out. Now we had Josh Sawyer on in the round as far as on Defining Duke. He literally said, like, that was a pitch he strong-armed to get out, for them to have them make the game.
Passion project.
Right. It was literally and he knew this was his only shot. So to King and your point, you can't tell me that there are not some people that are like, man, if we'd have had something else in its place other than that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It could have did way better, or whatever. So I do agree with you that there are some people in the building that will look at, comparatively to like a Forza Horizon or a Halo Infinite and don't want certain of those type of games to come out because they're thinking about the bigger bag or the bigger picture. But continue. I did want to mention the Pentiment story.
I'm 100% certain if higher ups had their way, right, even people above Phil Spencer, whatever the case may be, they would have tried to convince them to be like, okay, Game Pass is going to be a small game and third party game thing. First party games we sell a la carte. I'm sure of it. Because they're like, we need, again, if first party games create the identity of a console, of an ecosystem, if they are the ones that convince people to go to that space instead of another space, we have to show that these games are whatever, they're worth whatever the $60, $70, right? Can't have them in this service. And to me, that is a conversation that has happened. And at the end of the day, we got Game Pass with everything first party in it and what, whatever. And for us, the consumer, it's fantastic. I just don't think that, like King said, people that punch numbers and people who have been in a space where the status quo of the measurement of success has been different before Game Pass are like, no, this isn't success by the metrics that we think matter. Right. And, whether there's some internal strife there, right, that we don't know about, I don't know. Right. But it just is what it is. But I do think, again, going back to everything you guys have said to this point, I think the fact that it's a $40 game, it's a game that is not going to necessarily appeal to everyone, no matter what the price point is. It had no marketing, and it was such a positive zeitgeist. Remember, when I told you guys, when I saw it, I was like, this looks cool for me. But I said that the internet's going to come for us because it's like, here we go. Xbox had the opportunity to stealth drop something hot, and they stealth drop this cartoony thing. And it turns out it's a great game. And objectively, you can't say too much bad about it. It's a great game. And thankfully, that's what mattered over any other narrative that could have proliferated, right? But yeah, I felt like either way, it's kind of a niche thing. And maybe you drop the price to $20, in a couple of months or whatever, and see how many units that moves, or if you some DLC or something that kind of brings it back into the conversation. But yeah, I just don't. The metrics are different, and that is that. Whether you believe it or not, whether you care about it or not, whether you think it's a load of BS and it's just them changing the conversation for it to sound good,
right?
Whatever the case may be, that's what it is.
No, I hear you. Hey, shout out to Tyler Anderson, responded King. He said, "You're right, King." He said, "It's why he never really reports on comments. I always need to see proof, etc. The money metric isn't what they are chasing, but some TEDs see that lack of revenue as concerning." So he agrees with you. And again, it's about the metrics internally. I'll jump in, in reference to this. This was interesting because I got to be honest. I can't remember a time where Microsoft responded to a rumor. Especially like a Grub, and shout out to, see you in the chat, Tom Henderson, salute. I can't remember a time where they so quickly was the clap. And, and shout out to Grub for, kind of walking it back a little bit, as far as the source and stuff like that. But, to me, look, marketing 101, you don't respond to something that, as far as like rumors and stuff, like if it's bad, like you stay quiet. Like, for example, Rev 430, it's kind of quiet, right? You ain't see a jump out response back really on that. As far as this, to me, that is like, oh no, I don't look at it as corporate speak because it's not to your advantage because it will be disproven if it isn't a success. So to me, I'm with Addict on this. It's like they have to be happy internally with it. Again, we talked about the stealth drop. We talked about straight into Game Pass, right? The key to me is what Addict said, though. You do not expand Tango game work if you think everything going over there is not great. And I gotta be real with y'all, like the way Tango moving, finally got a chance to play Ghostwire. I really enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? HiFiRush was an outstanding success. Obviously Mikami's gone and he still got a lot of talent there. They talk about the rumors of a JRPG Addict that we were hearing about, a new IP. Like, to me, this is the stuff I want to see from Xbox. Like, the fact that they got like a Japanese studio by proxy of this whole acquisition thing is really exciting. And I looked at the expansion. Shout out to Hazardor. He said they got the Tango Gamework studio, almost 150 employees, and then they're opening additional 30 more jobs. Right. Yep. So they're looking for expansion. They're looking to take, that means they like what they're seeing, what's going on over there. To me, that's extremely promising. So yeah, I got to admit, I think this is something that overall Microsoft is happy with. And I'm curious to see what Tango continues to do in the future. They put it this way, they're moving up the ranks. They're getting close to in that top 10, top 5 range if they continue on with these type of games. So yeah, shoot a salute to them. That's really all I got. I just thought it was very interesting.
What we should do one day?
What we should do?
We should rate all of the studios.
Yes. And do like we should do a
15.
tier like the SAB, yes, with all Xbox games too. Because I'm telling you right, Tango is coming, man. Tango is coming. I'm letting y'all know I like what they doing off rip.
Exactly. No, I really do. And with more money, I'm excited about what they could do if they really go back to like pure survival horror or stuff like that. Yeah. And just do other things as well.
I think they're just going to be really diverse.
Yeah, I think they're going to be diverse too, because Shinji said before he left, one, because you look at a guy like John Johannes, right, that we had in the realm, interview for HiFiRush. Young cat. HiFiRush is a complete departure from the horror and stuff that we used to seeing from them, right? You got that. Then he's talking about we want to be more than just a horror studio. We want to have diversity. We want to have, obviously we got Ghostwire. Now we hearing the rumors of a JRPG. Could you imagine like a JRPG on Xbox debut? And that's mind blowing to me, right? And then we still got the horror bag, which we do whenever we want to go. We got even within 3, we can hit you whenever we ready kind of energy. It's exciting. It's exciting for to see what's going over there. So salute to them, and we will see what else goes on during the whole, saga of Tango and success. Anything else?
I think real quick. I think it was misconstrued in the chat by somebody. Like when I said somebody above Phil Spencer maybe doesn't like the game, you know, the services thing. I didn't mean Satya. Satya's definitely the services guy, right? But there's, you know, you can't tell me that the guy that's in charge of Windows. I mean, maybe he is, right?
Yeah.
You know, Windows used to sell for however many hundreds of pop, and now you give it away for free. Do you understand? Like,
yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you know, they used to sell a version of Office every single year.
Yep.
Yes.
And again, there's something to be said for the services aspect of it, where you pay a subscription fee every year. But not a lot of people do that. Because I could show you a site right now that has no de nouveau there.
No de nouveau there.
So, like I said, it guaranteed that there's people in high places at Microsoft that would prefer to sell things a la carte.
Oh, for sure.
Guaranteed.
That's a good point, because it's like the old Office days where you have to buy, okay, Office, this one came out, Office, that one came out. Now it's like Office 365 subscription. What's up?
What's up?
Right.
Give me 90 a year, 100 a year, something like that.
And if that works out and it's more financially beneficial for Microsoft long term, then that's the metric they're going to stick with. Look, this is all about the business of making money.
Yep.
Period. You don't come up with a system like Game Pass. Look, we get it. It benefits us right now, you know, short term, and we get it. The consumer, we benefit on that side. But let's be clear. Microsoft's in the business of making money, right? There's no way they don't construe this plan as far as engagement and Game Pass subscribers unless they feel long term that's the way they can make the most money. You know what I'm saying? If you get them to reoccurring payment or whatever, that's what it is. Now it's up to them to feed the service, to continue to have games into the service that are quality, that makes people want to subscribe to the service. So if they're, in my opinion, if they're happy about it, that means they have some metric that during that stealth drop, look how many people subscribe to Game Pass. You see what I'm saying? During that stealth drop, look how much engagement was had, and as a result, we saw them on record say like, "Oh, when they in, then they try this, and then they try that, and then you see what I'm saying?" So they clearly have something internally that they are happy with, and again, it's going to be last what I'll say. It's going to be harder for sometimes us and sometimes the regular casual fan to understand that for them, sales isn't the end all be all. Not that it doesn't matter. I'm never going to say sales doesn't matter. They will definitely pop their chest off if HiFiRush was on MPD or whatever.
Yeah, 5 million.
They go tell you if it's there. But the reality is they don't look for it to be there, because if it's not there, but Game Pass went from 30 to 50 million subscribers, that's what they care about. That's what they care about. That's what it is. So at the end of the day, we'll see how that goes on. But that's all I got. Let's get these super chats.
Yeah, okay. So we got God's Hitman.
$2.
Laying it down for the Lord.
Laying them down for the Lord.
$2 super chat. Do you guys care if Fable is 30 FPS? Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Yes,
if Fable's 30, I'm playing it on PC.
PC Master Race, that's your place.
Then we have Robert Kellett, $2 super chat. Jeff got info from a bad snitch, or Xbox is lying? I just said, Jeff, you know when you editorialize, he took something and kind of, without realizing it, put his thoughts into it rather than just giving the information.
I mean, it could be listen, I don't want to disrespect the Grub. Grub is the home.
No, not
at all.
It could
very well be that, like King said, someone he's talking to feels that way about it. It's like, we should have that should have weighed way more money than what it was, right? And then you have the other one, again, it's also addict we've talked about. There's levels to sources too.
Yeah. Right.
There's people who are
he says that, and it's like, if it's a high level source saying it, that maybe he feels justified in saying Microsoft feels this way, right? Absolutely.
So I don't want to disrespect, because there's times where, again, people who are really close to the situation, then there's the high ups. We don't know what source it is, but I just wanted to stress that aspect of it, because maybe there is someone in the building like, nah, fam, that should have did.
Yeah, that's Ted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I just think it's interpreted different ways on different sides of the argument.
I feel you.
And that's just what it is. And that's, you may think that's BS, but that's just the nature of it. That's what it is.
Fair enough.
Then we have Zip Davis, $2 super chat. My, oh my, that Valari pillow is so comfy. Woo-wee.
Thank you. Congratulations.
No doubt.
Enjoy. Hargeet Chani member for 1 year, $2 super chat. Finally got my Valari. Thanks for the support. In quotes, thank you. I like that.
I like that.
Unintended. I like that.
Unintended. Put those up. On the Twitter, the socials.
Then we got Mike Askew Jr., member for 2 years, $10 super chat. You can respect Grub, but Grub and other content makers have to be willing to change their outlook or they will be irrelevant moving forward. It's the same as the music industry.
Come on, man. Y'all coming at the Grub, man. Yo, the Xbox fans don't like what Grub said. He ain't lit.
Yeah, it just seems like that we're assuming that Grub himself feels that way.
Yeah, Grub just reporting what he reported, man.
Yeah, I guess it was just one of those things that he worded it in such a way that he was gonna catch smoke for it. Like that's just
well, you know, I mean, you know, Xbox Beauty gonna be like, oh, we gonna see. You know what I'm saying? I got it. What is news they don't like.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Continue.
Robert Kellett, $5 super chat. Chet is little Timmy's dad. He's snitching out of sadness of Starfield being delayed and running at 30 FPS.
Hey, we gotta see.
Then we have Pixelbit G, member for 2 years, $5 super chat. The person who is the real champion of services at Microsoft isn't Phil, it's supposedly Satya. Yes, it is Satya. There's no way we may not have Xbox if Phil were not able to convince Satya of a pivot that included that sort of services-based thinking. So, yeah.
Yeah, salute to Phil Dominus and Satya, young Odin. Continue.
Hargit Chani, member for 1 year, $10 super chat. HiFiRush sold more than Forspoken on Steam despite Game Pass.
Really?
Well, yeah, I told you. It sold about, it beat it out. It beat it out on Steam. It sold about 500,000, and that's a $70 game.
That's a $70. That's interesting. Okay.
Forspoken Studio was shuttered.
I didn't know that. Sorry.
Yeah, Forspoken Studio was.
When you don't perform, they closed the doors.
Because again, the metrics were different. The expectation was different.
Jim don't play that.
Jim would have done it. It probably would have done great on Game Pass.
Oh, man.
You get for locking yourself off for 2 years.
I can't.
Tango is expanding Xbox targets engagement. Like I said, it's very true. Bethesda/Tango likely had sales targets before being acquired.
Interesting.
Yep. And let's see what else we have here. Then we have Nintendo the Otaku, $2 super chat. I think Tango will become the second coming of Clover. Ooh,
I like that.
Yeah.
Dope.
Then we have Marvin Ginyard, $2 super chat. Doing my part to save the Nigerian polar bear. Thank you. I appreciate
Thank you.
The Nigerian polar bear.
Every time you hit the like button, man, we save a couple Nigerian polar bears. What other animals we saving, King? What we doing? We hit the like button, y'all.
You know how those polar caps are melting in Nigeria.
We saving the African armadillo.
Hit the like button. Save an animal.
Then we have Spargo 17, £2 super chat. NDA dudes back at it again, huh? Come on, bro.
Shout out to NDA dudes. Salute.
They gotta live.
Second. Let me scroll down. Then we got Gamer by Choice, $5 super chat. Yeah. Should we be on the lookout for Microsoft exec leaving for personal reasons? Exec, I feel games should have made more money. Phil, stop exec check.
Salute.
I love when they come up with these scenarios.
Scenarios are hilarious.
Nintendo the Otaku, $2 super chat. Oh yeah, this is it. I read that already.
Okay.
The second coming of Clover. I like that. That's it.
All right, Solve, you are up. Little acquisition season, right? And then Nintendo topic.
Nintendo topic. Yeah. So let's start with the Sony acquisition, right?
Okay, what's going on?
So yeah, Sony has acquired FirewalkStudios. You guys may remember that they entered into a publishing agreement with Probably Monsters, which is the actual the dev that is the bigger umbrella under which FirewalkStudios was operating. They entered into an agreement to make a AAA PlayStation multiplayer game, a new IP in 2021, right? And apparently it seems that whatever Sony, whatever they've shown of whatever this game is going to be has impressed Sony enough that they've decided to sort of buy FirewalkStudios out from under Probably Monsters and bring them in-house. And this is interesting because it is the only really the second time this has happened where Sony has purchased a company that hasn't made a game yet, right? They did that with Jade Raymond's new studio, where they, you know, and entered into an agreement for whatever game they were working on, an exclusive agreement, and then decided to just purchase them outright, right? So it's interesting because, again, we've been talking about this for a while. Sony has a lot of service-based games kind of in the works, right? That we know they're trying to get into that bag, into that space, cloud-based stuff. They're finally realizing that they have to expand the walled garden, that this, you know, $70, you know, super prestige game is great, but they do need something that's going to make them money kind of on a monthly basis, right? And so this is where they're going with this. Now, what's interesting about this, and I think we had already talked about it, that the two heads of Firewalk Studios are former Bungie. We have Tony Sue and Ryan Ellis, who both work as game directors on Destiny, in addition to creative directors on Destiny. So they know what they're doing in this space, right? So it's kind of interesting to me that Sony is really doing things that they have not done in the past. And I give a shout out to Colin for this. Colin's the one that always pointed this out, like, yo, they don't do this. They gotta date you for a long time before they decide to bring you in.
Shout out to the homie Colin, because I gotta start showing, because he knows I mess with it with this. So are you implying this is not organic?
Not organic in the least.
Okay, because there's no game that was purchased before.
No, nothing.
No game that was made before.
No pre-existing relationship.
So they just outright bought them, and this is not small.
Exactly. It was.
I know, but Kyle, I'm gonna see you on Tuesday. But so basically,
it's love at first sight.
150 plus. So they're definitely not small. Not a little rinky dink.
Not rinky dink whatsoever.
Just want to be clear about the purity of organic growth. You know, it's here in this situation. But continue, because these dudes is nice. These dudes is nice, but continue.
So this is the thing. Neither one of these studios has a game under their belt. They have a lot of talent that have games under their belt and made games in this space, but they're still taking a risk because you just never know, right? Bungie's Bungie, and there's a certain magic there, right? And no matter if you've come from, we've seen it with 343, and you know, after Bungie left, it's like, you can't always, the secret sauce is just what it is. It's a secret sauce. You can't always guarantee success by having some of the same people in that space, right? It's just one of those things that it works, and it doesn't. So it's interesting that they're so in on this, that they're just like, you know what, we're buying them. We like what they're working on. And this is a new IP, right? A lot of us thought that if you purchase some of these studios, right, and without having a pre-existing sort of relationship with them, maybe it makes sense. Like, you know what, we're trying to bring back this old, you know, we're bringing back SOCOM, we're bringing back Resistance. It is our IP. We want you to be the SOCOM team. We want you to be the Resistance team, whatever the case may be. Well, the new Killzone team, whatever. But it's not. This is new IP that they're taking a big risk on. So the fact that they're willing to bring them in-house before that first game is even out, because we know games in this multiplayer space, service-based game space, of the vast majority of these games that are going to come out, maybe one or two survives. Even if they're all good, it's just a crowded space. And, you know, people don't have the bandwidth to be on 2 or 3, you know, service-based games. It's just not the case. So by just process of elimination, some of these games, whether they're good or not, are just not going to make it. And the fact they're willing to jump in shows a little bit about maybe PlayStation's desperation in this space, particularly because they're so kind of far behind the 8 ball, right? They got everything else locked down. That single-player, first-person narrative, they got that locked down. But this is different. This is different. And it doesn't matter if you look at all the failures, like you look at Ubisoft with the stuff that they've shuttered before it's even out. Everybody's trying to find that one game that they can say is going to make us money hand over fist. We don't have to worry about it. And, you know, they keep chasing that bag no matter how many failures they see in the space, because all you need is one, right? And I think that's PlayStation's thinking. I think all we need is one. And then that secures us being able to continue to make these big single player sort of prestige games without kind of fear of, you know, the money not being there in the interim, you know, 5 or 6 years, 7 years that those games take to make. So it's interesting that this is a pivot by PlayStation in a way we have not seen before. And it's interesting because, again, for those people who love what they consider PS4 PlayStation, right? What they morphed into during the PS4 generation. In a lot of ways, it's going to be a different beast. And I don't know if they, you know, we'll see. We'll see if the prestige games suffer. I doubt they will, but you just never know.
Yeah, definitely a change in philosophy. We have to admit this is not as far as the way they're requiring now. You know what I mean? It's definitely not. I'll let Attic go in. Attic, you got any bars for Firewalk?
Yeah, I don't think this is a change of philosophy. I think that Sony has no choice but to do this. They know they can't keep up with Microsoft's output, so they're trying to, buy some of these smaller studios that they have some form of relationship with. I'm assuming that Bungie's relationship with these developers was able to smooth that, top conversation over to have it done. I've said for a while now, if Microsoft's able to get this engine sending out quality games and they're able to do it a few times a year, especially with stuff like Avowed, Fable, Outer Worlds 2, Hellblade 2, Perfect Dark, and that's just a couple of the games, State of Decay 2. And if they're able to make these games be very, consistent with good quality, Sony can't keep up with that. And I think they know that because they started these purchases when Microsoft started buying studios. For years, they didn't really move too much. They'd buy a studio here and there. But after a while, after they bought Bethesda and they bought those 5 studios back then, and they bought Excel Entertainment and Obsidian, then you started seeing them, okay, let's pick up this studio. Let's pick up that studio.
So you feel this is reactionary?
It's got to be reactionary. And they know for a fact, even though if it's not PlayStation, Microsoft, they know they see Netflix out there making moves. They see other companies picking stuff up, and
people are kicking the tires. See what's going on.
Stuff like Bethesda and Activision rarely, almost never happens. People rarely buy publishers. Mm-hmm. The only reason Microsoft is able to do it is because they have an absurd amount of cash laying around. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, when these companies come in like Netflix and trying to get into this field a little bit, they pick up the smaller AA studios. And that's what you're seeing PlayStation do, because they know, look, we can't compete with Microsoft if they do this. Now, keep in mind,
this new one ain't small though. This new one ain't not small at all. They're like 150 plus.
Yeah, but they ain't made a game.
True, but they not a small team.
So in that way, it is kind of organic, since they are, no matter how big of a studio they haven't done it.
But prior to this, Sony had made a game with Sony on a second, and then Sony comes in afterwards. So this is definitely a change of philosophy. They've not really done this. Neither has Bungie done that.
Mm-hmm.
But how many studios have they bought in the past 2 years?
They bought a lot.
And that's my point. None of this is organic.
Oh no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, people sit there and they say, oh, they act like Microsoft buying Bethesda wasn't organic. There's literally video of Phil Spencer being called over Fallout 76 issue. There's literally videos of Todd Howard saying that they wanted to get Morrowind running and they were having a hard time, and Xbox themselves helped them do it. First off, technically, if you want to get extremely technical, all the 3 big platforms, excluding Nintendo to a degree because they don't really work with third party, if they buy anyone, it's organic because they've worked with them for years.
You could even make the argument that Sega would be an organic acquisition for Xbox based on their relationship with the OG Xbox and Peter Moore, and bringing Shenmue and bringing the Sega games over and Windows CE being in the Dreamcast. You could even make that argument.
At this point, it's like I said, I can understand with the magnifying glass. So, I personally feel like just because you go into a studio and you say, yo, build me a game, that's not organic growth. Organic growth is something like Insomniac, where they've worked with them for years and years. They've really put money into the ecosystem, because I personally feel like in order to be on that organic level, it has to be more than just money. It's got to be talent. It's got to be studios. One thing that you can really put out is you can put Kojima Studio. Not only did they generate money for them, like, yo, here, use Horizon's engine. There is actual organic growth going on there. But there's some studios that they pick up, they worked with one time. Oh, that's organic. Shut up. That's not organic.
But let's get to the core. It's just we going in. Let's stop dancing. Let's stop dancing.
In 2 years and say, well, that's organic. No,
let's just get to the core of the issue. Let's stop dancing because I know what you're doing, and I think I'm doing too, and I'm instigating. So the thing is, I think why this organic conversation is coming, and this is just what I see. And King, you can chime in if you like, is that when I see Microsoft make an acquisition, the thought process, if the game is successful, then I will see, well, that was made before. Microsoft had nothing to do with that, right?
No, you know how it is, Carl.
Hold on, let me just finish this last part. And then if the game flopped off of post-acquisition, well, Microsoft came in there, messed things up.
That Xbox stench.
That's the funny thing that I see, the double standard. Like I said, it's very hilarious to me when I see people move the goalposts when it comes to acquisitions and then the games and the success of it. When it comes to the Xbox, man, we got to keep it true on that. I see that talk. So that's why I started to see this thing. Well, the way Sony does it is just the purity way. This is the correct way of doing it. To me, an acquisition is an acquisition, period. That's it. How the game comes out at that point is how the game comes out. It's just funny, these qualifiers based on success. I just think it's hilarious to me. Continue.
I get annoyed when I see people, they Obsidian with the Outer Worlds. And this studio
doesn't count.
Made a fantastic game. I can't imagine what they do if they get more money. Yeah. They say, they're just automatically going to go to shit after this.
We got to stop with this purity talk. All that matters is if when a game comes out, is it good? Period. That's all that matters. All this, we got to look at the father and the birth date. No, none of that matters, man. Yeah, nobody cares about that. Who cares is the game fire. That's it. I don't care where it came from. So that's the thing that we have to stop with all of this purity talk. No one cares about that. You're just using it to try to take credit away from something else. That's all that is. Continue. I got my rant off. I just wanted to say that.
It's like crazy. Like people sit there, they want to talk about mismanagement. They want to talk about acquisitions, this, that. But then they don't want to talk about all the studios that Sony bought with almost no working with them. They want to talk about mismanagement, and they don't want to talk about all the issues like Days Gone. And there's so many mismanagement that they do, but people just simply don't look at it. They shut down multiple studios. There's issues in general going on with Sony stuff. We literally saw a massive amount of people leave Naughty Dog in the past 3 or 4 years. Like the people that was working on The Last of Us 2. And people sit there act like that stuff doesn't happen. Look, I get it. There has been issues with some of Microsoft studios, but when you have Media Molecule, another one, when you have the simple amount of studios that Microsoft has, sometimes some of them are just not going to go the way the other ones are going. You know what's funny? No one talks about when Obsidian has done nothing but knock out 80s and above Metacritic score games. No one talks about, all these other games that Microsoft is doing that's doing very well. They just want to talk about the outliners. Let's talk about Halo for the 18th time and make streams multiple times and never talk about anything else that's just Xbox related. Let's not talk about the amount of bad PlayStation topics that I can look through people's channel and don't see nothing about any of that. It's just, let's talk about Xbox Staten leaving. Let's talk about, what's going on with HiFiRush. Let's completely forget everything else going on.
In fairness, though, Xbox do be having some bad news that they do to this.
Well, my point is people like to isolate and act like that's the only thing going on in the industry.
No, fair enough. They just have more of a microscope on them for that reason. Because they haven't.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, that's it. They haven't. But real quick, it kind of feels like, you know what it is? This is where the argument comes from, and this is it. The problem is that the status quo of selling games piecemeal and console sales and all of that has been attacked in the first real way that it's ever really been attacked, right? That's the only reason that this is happening. When you think about it, it's just like Sony's continuing to sell the way they sell, right? But they've had to pivot into a space that they are absolutely not comfortable in because Xbox has made enough waves in that space to make it so that they have to pivot. That's the beef. That's where the purity comes from. This is the way it's always been done. when you think about how pure that purity is, let's think about it. When Sony came onto the scene, they shuttered studios. They bought studios and shuttered them so that they would not make Sega Saturn ports of certain games.
I remember that. Your Saturn caught the business.
Business.
That's a fact. King said shaking his head.
Business. So it's like that purity is stained with a lot of blood, right? There's a lot of blood in that snow.
You trying to make it seem like it was religious wars and somebody.
Yeah,
remember when they used to burn the books from the past generation? No one shall learn. We are gods of the gods.
And there's a lot of bad business in that purity. And the funny thing is,
all these companies do it.
And if you flipped it, if you flipped it, if the status quo had always been services from the beginning, Atari sold me a subscription service, and then all of a sudden Xbox decided, nah, I'm gonna sell you this for $70. The argument would be the same.
All these companies are the same. All these companies do it. They try to change it. Facts.
The part that annoys me,
I agree.
It's just like, look, like I understand when people sit there and they say, I have gave Microsoft the benefit of the doubt too many times.
Yeah, and it can be frustrating. Absolutely.
That is understandable. I say every time, don't go off what any influencer says. Don't go off any podcast or any media outlet. If you feel like Microsoft has burned your trust too many times, wait for the games. Yeah. Then jump on board.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what kills me is like if something happens, I don't talk about it till something else happens, like the ABK deal. We don't talk about it unless another news story that is worth talking about happens. But what kills me is people will talk about the output of games on Xbox every week, acting like Microsoft can fix it in a week. They've had plenty of time to fix it, and we can't act like the pandemic didn't happen that slowed the progression down. We get it. You don't got to keep talking about it. Like to me, if PlayStation had that many lit games, why are people talking about Xbox 24/7?
Let's not do it. Let's be nice. Let's be nice.
Come on, we ain't being nice. I've been nice too long.
Let's be respectful. King, you've been patient. My man ain't getting his bars off today. I feel he ain't getting a chance to talk the way he talked.
No, it's just that Sony had $5 billion for acquisitions, and they made acquisitions. It's just they looked over at who was performing what, and they see a game that they feel is going to fit that little service thing that they're trying to do, the 25 games. They can't afford bleeding edges, right? They can't afford it. Bleeding Edge wasn't a bad game, but it didn't perform well.
Engagement, it did not.
Right, so same thing with Lawbreakers. They can't afford these games of service that don't make it. They need an Apex. They need a PUBG. They need a Fortnite. They need something that's going to give reoccurring money, because they notice now more than ever that Call of Duty is not going to be their cash cow, right? So they have to go out and make another cash cow. And I know I heard Sovereign said something about, they can have this studio do SOCOM, or they can have this studio do this. They want new IP, fresh blood in this space. Right, and at any point in time, they can go back in their hat to do those old IPs, but they're not at DEFCON 5 right now. Right, they're still trying to figure it out. So while we have Microsoft stalled over there, we made a ruckus. We have everybody looking over there. Let's go acquire this stuff right now, and let's get these studios together to get these games out before Microsoft actually turns this machine on and these games just overwhelm us, right? So they have $5 billion for acquisition. They did acquisition. So what?
You know what the funny thing is too?
They say Attic invited to the cookout. Attic, they love it. Attic today. They are like all over.
People will sit there,
spicy.
They will talk all this gossip, and they really be acting like none of these games are ever going to come out. Like these games are going to sit in limbo for the rest of eternity. We're never going to see Fable. We're never going to see the Outer Worlds 2. Look, if you want to talk smacks on these games when these games come out, if they're bad, I'm right there with you. I'm right in line, right behind you with my ticket saying, let's go. But it's just like people have too much to say on games they ain't never even seen.
Oh, okay.
People have too much to say on games that don't even care about.
People want to talk. I mean, I don't care. I mean, that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. But I feel let you get your bars off. For me, look, I'm with King. I think that to me, this is a lot of reactive moves, and what it signifies to me. Shout out to, first of all, whatever Sony's seen with Firewalk must have impressed the hell out of them. Like, they must have been blown away. And in this climate,
or they're just scared someone else is going to buy them. So
no, but that's part of it, right? Like, if you see something that could be the next big thing, right? And we got to give Sony this. They always have their finger on the pulse of what's popping. Yeah. We
Seafood,
cannot take seafood or look at all the little
stray Game of the Year candidates.
Whatever they put their little exclusive bag towards that I don't like. I know Addict don't like it, but we have to give them credit when it comes to being able to see what's popping.
I don't mind them doing it. Right. My issue is them acting like a victim doing it.
No, I feel that, and I'm gonna give you that too. I'm gonna give you that too. So basically, what it is they see it. So whatever they see, shout out to Five Spot. Listen, they got AAA talent over there. Tony and that team, they got like Destiny experience under their belt, Apex Legend, Mass Effect experience, Halo experience. Like, these guys know how to do multiplayer. And to me, I gotta give standing ovation to Sony on this. Thank you. This is what I'm talking. Y'all know I'm Lord Acquisition. Yep. This is what I'm talking about. Stop going up there crying like there's nothing we can do if we don't have Call of Duty and the history of gaming. This is the Sony I want to see. Go out there and show me that you are going to take multiplayer games serious. I give Xbox all the smoke with hashtag just one.
Shady said for spoken and Godfall, nothing but bangers.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, I give it because I'm like, look, Microsoft, you need one of them hashtag just one third person over the shoulder narrative bangers. That's a new IP. I'm always going to be on it. But the same energy I am going to be on Sony. You guys created SOCOM. Y'all had Resistance. Y'all had all this stuff under your belt. And then once y'all made just ones, all of a sudden y'all stopped. And what happened is, in my opinion, King, they got comfortable. They thought there was nothing ever going to change this Call of Duty situation. The way they position themselves, like, look, we get the marketing rights, right? People just off marketing alone, and we do our little practices with exclusive content and maps and guns, and by default, you're going to think Call of Duty is the place to play on PlayStation. You can't tell me. We've already heard on record when the announcement happened, there was secret meetings at Sony like, yo, what are we going to do here? This is a scenario we could not envision happening, that we are going to lose. We're not going to lose it. It's still going to be on a platform, but basically it being in Game Pass, to them is the equivalent of losing
and marketing rights.
And the marketing and like the zeitgeist of, yo, could you imagine, like we said, the Call of Duties in the Series S packaging? You're going to change the conversation, but that's a huge blow to them. That's why we were surprised of how
and not
hard.
to mention giving that much power to Xbox in negotiations.
Yes. So to me, if I'm looking from the outside in, you can't tell me that Bungie, yes, these deals were made, talked for years in advance or whatever, but you can't tell me it wasn't accelerated. But they heard that the Activision Blizzard King thing was about to happen as far as to finalize the Bungie deal. You can't tell me that this is not a response as well. They are looking to really to really improve their multiplayer catalog. And I think this is dope. This is what I want to see from Sony. Not this excuse stuff that I was hearing about. And I know Jim's got to do what Jim's got to do for the stakeholders kind of thing. But that's it. I mean, other than that, I would just say I do see a shift in philosophy as far as the acquisitions, as far as, what is it, Bungie, Firewalk, Savage, Haven, even Nixon.
They're not done either.
Yeah, they're not done. So to me, this is them putting themselves in position. We know about the 10 live service games. Look, all it takes is one of those to hit. And if they have one of those hitting under their banner, in the Sony ecosystem, that's huge. And I think that's what they're counting on. Go ahead, Attic and Saul. I know you want to get in.
These two platforms are building their stables to go into a subscription war. That's what realistically what's going on here. Sure, it's not going to happen anytime soon, but eventually everything's going to be on a TV and you just get a controller and play it. I mean, we have a lot of internet infrastructures to work on that, but they know the direction this stuff is going. I think Microsoft is jumping out the window a little bit earlier than all the other platforms, but they know what's going on. And in order to fuel that kind of war, you're going to need games. You're going to need a massive amount of games.
Yes.
Look at Netflix. Look how long it took Netflix to dig out of debt to some degree. It took them years to do that because they've been funding their own content. And sooner or later, you're going to have these going on. And I think that's one of the things that PlayStation knows. Like, look, do we really want them to have Call of Duty as a staple? Because stuff might be right now where it's more beneficial for Microsoft to have Call of Duty on the PlayStation platform. But you don't know how the landscaping of the gaming industry is going to be in 10, 15 years. For all you know, something could happen where Microsoft could see more money in holding that brand on their own walls than letting other people come across the walls. And that's what PlayStation is scared of the most.
And I think PlayStation also knows what King used to call it, bad business practices with the exclusive stuff. Look, the third-party exclusive deal stuff, you know, that's cool. That it brings people, you know, to your platform and, you know, and stuff like that. But you can't tell me that ownership isn't better. Like if you own the building, I think it's a little, you have more control of where things are going to go. And I think Sony, there is a change of philosophy. Like they are trying to own now. They're making acquisitions. And to me, what it shows, denotes, is that there's a potential that they feel that, okay, we've pushed and scratched and kicked and scratched with this Activision Blizzard King thing long enough. Most likely it's going down. We're going to make it as hard as we can for them all the way to the end, but most likely it's going down. And if it's going down, okay, we got Bungie over here. 10 live service games help us out. We got Firewalk over here. Whatever we saw, this is fire. This is underneath the Sony PlayStation Studios logo. We got something. We got factions. It's now you got to build up your resources, your warheads in this part that's just super deficient. They've been deficient. I've been saying that for a long time, and that's what I want to see. Guys,
and this is the tip of the iceberg because we talked about it was the last week or the week before where they're making bigger moves into the cloud space because they realize that they have to be there. We got to understand that Microsoft was kind of already there because of what Microsoft does, not because of Xbox. Xbox being privy to that stuff is just that it's kind of part of the equation because they're part of Microsoft. But Microsoft, their move into cloud was because of Microsoft stuff, right? Xbox was kind of an afterthought in that regard, and it works beautifully. But at the end of the day, that's why I said, like, now that Google's out there, free agent, nobody's using their tech. They're not going to shutter the tech completely. They spent how many billions of dollars on that tech. I could see Sony going to Google and be like, "Hey, let's partner up." And,
I can see that because you notice ever since that initial talk of the Azure, Microsoft, and Sony partnership, we haven't seen any progress anymore, and especially since the Activision Blizzard thing. All of a sudden, you don't hear about this partnership no more.
Exactly. The relationship could be strained, to say the least. and you know, they could pivot to another partner.
Facts.
And what better, again,
and Google is one of the few opposing the deal.
It was actually rumored that that's what happened a couple, like 6 months ago.
Absolutely. No,
and that makes a hell of a lot of sense because Google, regardless to what them realizing that they didn't want to do this on their own, makes a whole lot of sense. It was that tech was always going to end up someplace else. And if I'm Sony, I'm like, what better place than Sony? Because I'm gonna tell you this right now, that Stadia from a technical standpoint,
fire. The tech was
amazing. When we think about the three sort of services that really are doing it, it's NVIDIA.
Yes. GeForce Now, fire.
GeForce Now, fire. Then Stadia in terms of quality, and then right below it is Xbox, right?
Yes, I would give that.
So if Sony's, you have to think about the cloud stuff because that's where all of these games. Remember, all of these games don't mean nearly as much. The multiplayer ones don't mean nearly as much if you're only opening up the ecosystem to PC proper, like download, right? The cloud stuff is where they have to be. And when you talk about the deficiencies, sure. On the game side, the deficiencies are those multiplayer games, those service-based games. Bigger than that is the deficiency cloud. And when you look at all the deals that Microsoft has just said they're going to make in order to put their games in addition to ABK games onto all these other freaking platforms that many of us have never even heard of, that to me is where Sony's like, okay, no, we have to pivot. We have to. So the philosophy has changed, AJ. Like it has, but like I said before, they've been forced to do it.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah,
I said the philosophy hasn't changed. They've been forced to change the way they do things because, I mean, look what's going on. Like everyone's being bought by everyone. We've literally had 3 or 4 acquisition stuff that's going on. It's not just little people buy like these big, massive corporations. Sega bought Angry Birds for some reason. Like there's so much consolidation going on in the industry.
Rovio, that's crazy. Yeah,
they bought Rovio. You see Embracer outside.
Embracer outside, Tencent out here, and this is the thing. Like it's just, to me, that's just the nature of it, right? So when we talk about the consolidation, that this is just it. They had to pivot and react to that because everybody's consolidated. They're gonna be left with nobody to make deals with.
That's why I was laughing at all this organic growth stuff, because I'm like, the last 5 things they did was not organic. Like Firewalk, what is it? Bungie, Haven, Savage, Nixus. Like
that's my heart.
Yeah, you know that's your heart. But and it makes sense though. I'm not even clowning. Like it makes sense.
Yeah.
With Nixus, you got to fortify your PC relationship. But as much as PlayStation fans was giving us a whole bunch of things, we said these games are coming to PC, which they are, right? Yeah. You need a studio that has this experience in making these ports of your quote-unquote bangers to get that revenue. Sony's not stupid. They're not paying attention to people's ego and purity talk and all that. They trying to make money. Period. So it's gonna happen. They just gonna grease you along the way, let you feel that we're exclusive and all this, and then you gonna get greased into where the money goes.
My God.
That's what it is. I gotta call it.
Make no mistake. They're gonna sell you $70 games for as long as they can.
Facts.
For as long as they can, they be like, "This is a $7 product. This is what it is."
These companies are about making money. Period. All this talk. Anyway, I'm done. Anybody else got their stuff?
Nah, it is what it is. It's going to be interesting because I think finally this year we're going to start seeing the fruits of this labor. And I want to see, again, the PlayStation faithful, the ones who, to them, PS4, that generation and what they turned into is what the PlayStation is. You're going to have a rude awakening. And again, you should have been kind of acclimated to it already. You know, the PC stuff, whatever, the day and date. This is going to be a pivot like you haven't seen. And I just, again, because I'm all in for change.
It's a good pivot.
I'm all in for change. I love change.
It's a good pivot, y'all. That's why I'm Lord Acquisition. This is a good pivot.
It makes them more well-rounded.
Yes, you better get up on this cloud. You better get up on this mobile. You got to get up on this PC. The market, the sphere is changing. And if you don't evolve, you are going to get left behind. What they're doing with the old model is spectacular. They're making sales after sales. They're breaking records. The PS4 hits. I get it. But the market is going to change 5-10 years down the road. And if you're not equipped, if you don't have your ducks in a row, for the long term, you will get left behind. And it's good to see them making it, especially multiplayer games. Thank you. Please, please.
And they're already behind the 8
ball.
They're behind the 8 ball already. They have to rush.
Yes.
They kind of have to. Like, make no mistake, in that realm, they are behind the 8 ball. So,
no, they're doing the right thing. Salute to them. So that's what I got. Anything else we move on? Super chats, all that?
Oh, if you want to do super chat specific to this topic before we just do the Nintendo thing. Okay. So let's go. Let me go back a little bit. Plátano J, member for 2 years, $2 super chat. Get look, Lord, 730. Hit the like. We had 730 at one point. Hit that like button.
That like. Save them animals.
Save the Nigerian polar bear. I love that.
Icy chrome, the biomes of
I can see the polar bear in Nigeria. Like, what am I doing here?
What am I doing here?
And we have Banana Peaches, $10 super chat.
Hello.
Hey now.
In regards to HiFiRush's success, while sales are still important, as y'all have stated, my opinion is as long as the game is fun, that is success in my book. As a game player, it should be. Don't worry about all the conversation around it. You having fun? That's what matters. That is, in reality, that's what matters.
Facts.
Then we have Stitch, member for 2 years, $5 super chat. I think R. Kelly is in solitary confinement because he hasn't said anything about this acquisition. Or is it because this was not organic?
Shout out to Kels.
Kels. Keep it in the closet.
Keep it in the
Kels.
closet. Keep it in the closet. Mhm.
And we got Joe Repco, aka Flame, member for 30 months. Lognet's finest. Good afternoon, ILP. Hope everyone is having a great weekend. I hope to see at least one of you hint in Duviri in Warframe this Wednesday. Is somebody being forced to play Warframe?
He talking to y'all.
He ain't talking to me.
He talking to you, King. King, you gonna get on that Warframe?
Addict was good.
Addict was good. Got that popping? Guess not. Okay.
He got no answer. Then we have Carl Andrews Jr. $2 super chat. Too many being bought or wanting to be bought. It is just the nature of where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Listen, you would love for every studio to be able to subsist on their own, no overseers. But the fact of the matter is, that's just not can't. Eternal Should Die, $2 super chats. FirewalkStudios is the new organic keto studio.
Yo, no, he ain't say keto. Yo, that's messy. That is messy. Continue.
We have Mandingo McDickens, member for 2 years, $20 super chat. So y'all got love for the Nigerian polar bears, but what about the Mandingos? So we're a little bulky in the middle.
Whoa!
We deserve some love too. $5 donation.
Whoa!
You go ahead, save those Mandingos.
Oh man.
we go cap for the polar bears. Then we have Robert Kellett, $2 super chat. Sony buying a blank canvas, half the painting set. Yeah, I mean, they like what they saw, apparently.
Yeah,
so,
let me tell y'all, that game has to be fire. For them to buy the studio after just seeing it, and they could have just did what they normally do, let them publish it,
let the game come out.
Let the game come out. They like, no, nobody getting this. We want this. Be on the lookout for whatever Firewalk. I'm very impressed to see what, I think they know. They have their finger on the touch.
Yeah, Haven as well. Again, just don't know what it is, but.
Salute.
All right, then we have Robert Kellett again, $2 super chat. RIP to Evolution, Media Molecule, Liverpool, and Gorilla Cambridge. Yes, they have shut down. See, but these are studios that they had in the fold. Again, didn't do what they were supposed to do. Media Molecule still here, though. They're not going nowhere. They're making a game. So, RIP to Dreams, though. But
salute.
Close the door.
Then we got Face 23 BKNY, $20.
Oh, Face is out. Here you go. Sony.
Lord Saab, Xbox pivoted first. People wasn't buying Xbox games, so no sequels besides Halo, Gears, and Forza. Since people didn't want to buy Xbox games, Xbox was like, "Okay, we'll rent you games on the service." Yeah, I don't know. I said that. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't get to the point here, Face, because that's what I said.
What he said?
Well, I said that PlayStation pivoted, right? But they pivoted. Yeah, they pivoted because Xbox forced them to pivot, right? That's just what it is. Because if Game Pass wasn't nearly as successful as it has been, they'd see no reason to even dip their toes in this
service
river,
stuff.
in the service stuff. There's no reason for it.
Got you.
We got Hargeet Shani, member for 1 year, $5 super chat. So is PlayStation desperate or the acquisition was already planned? Either way, the industry is changing and it's much more exciting. Things are changing. Changes is scary, but it is very interesting to see because
I think it's a little bit. I think it's reactive as well. You know, to lock it down just in case.
Yeah,
I don't know that the acquisition was already planned, but again, they're not stupid. Like they knew they had a deficiency in that anyway. And all of these companies, no matter what company you have, somebody at some point in time whiteboarded a service-based game with microtransactions. It's just what it is. So, everybody wants that cash cow. Nintendo on the Otaku, $5 super chat. Reminder that Nintendo don't need acquisitions. Xbox needs 33 studios to match their output. These devs still trying to catch up to Nintendo's oldest teams.
Shout out to Nintendo. We got to get Nintendo their bars though, as far as first party.
Yeah, they're kind of recession proof.
They've got their niche. They've locked down. They have good output. Can't say anything about Nintendo and they've shown they can be successful without Call of Duty. How amazing
God forbid.
is that? God forbid. Their whole business doesn't go down because they don't have the Call of Duty.
He said the PlayStation would die without Call of Duty. Jesus. Then we have Grumble, $2 super chat. Is Cliffy B making a service game for Xbox? No, I think Cliffy when he talked about the lawbreakers thing, apparently he found out who has the ownership, the rights, the ownership of lawbreakers. And he's like, bring it back. So, we'll see. We'll see. I think we're caught up.
All right. Now you said you had a Nintendo aspect. They're mad at me because I don't have enough room in the thing to put it. So they like, why is it in the title card?
So real quick,
so what happened with
the Nintendo Indie Showcase that happened this week. I'm going to get into it, and there's not a whole lot of stuff that I was excited about. But I'm going to pivot into something else that the Dukes talked about. I haven't had a chance to actually listen to, but it was very interesting to see. So the Nintendo Indie Showcase happened earlier this week. And, again, small games, things that were cool for me that I saw was...
What, the cat simulator?
No, not the cat simulator. Quilts and Cactus Calico? No, I don't want to see that. The Rift of the Necrodancer seemed cool just because the Crypt of the Necrodancer was kind of like a rhythm-based sort of dungeon crawler where you had to like move in sort of tone and sort of a rhythm with the music, which is very cool. Rift of the Necrodancer feels more like it's a rhythm game, but it's a bunch of different stuff. Like at first, I looked at the trailer and it looked like it was like Guitar Hero. Gotcha. And then it looked like it was some other stuff. So it kind of feels like it's taken that sort of core type of gameplay and applying it to different scenarios, which seems kind of cool. Then we saw Animal Well, which we saw. Shout out to Addict and Donkey's Game.
Yeah, we covered it at PAX.
Yeah, Shared Memory and Big Mode. It's Animal Well, so that's coming to the Switch. In addition to that, I don't know if any of you guys ever played Teslagrad. Teslagrad was a very cool sort of kind of physics-based puzzle platformer back in the day. It was like a freaking it was a mobile game, then it went to Switch kind of around the launch year of Switch. So they kind of shadow dropped the remaster of that in addition to the sequel. These puzzle based sort of physics based, I know the first one had a lot to do with electricity, Tesla. So they kind of shadow dropped both of those games on the day of the thing. And then Blasphemous was a very cool kind of, not simplistic, but it was is a very cool Metroidvania that came out on multiple platforms. I played it on Switch. That had kind of like Metroidvania aspects to it, very sort of dark, medieval sort of overtones to it, religious overtones.
Yeah, very religious.
Cool. The sequel is coming out. They got the announcement trailer, but the sequel looks. They really expanded upon it. They were like,
this looks fire.
It looks bonkers, right? So that I'm excited for that. Hopefully, I'll be playing that on not on.
Oh, you're not gonna play it on the preferred platform?
No. I'll be playing that on the Steam Deck or something else, or something else. Maybe something else.
This looks really cool though. I like
it's portable.
Yeah,
there was other stuff. Five Nights at Freddy's. Yeah, something else that maybe we might be playing on. But the one that really stuck out to me.
Let's get it.
Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals. I think anybody who played the first Oxenfree and saw this and then was like, oh, cool, this game's coming out. I'm going to play this on my Xbox. Was shocked to find out that this game is coming to every platform under the sun, including Mac.
Oh, wow.
And not the Xbox, which the original enjoyed a period of exclusivity on. Wow. When it first came out, and I don't know when the first one came. I forgot. I remember seeing a preview of it from Marty Sleva when he was still with IGN. That's how long ago this was. This game enjoyed, I don't know if it was a year, maybe it was 6 months to a year, exclusive on Xbox. I remember it was huge because it was a really cool story-based sort of kind of in the vein of old school adventure games, but the selling point was really like the dialogue and the conversations. It felt really organic. It felt like they were really two people having a conversation, and the story was really cool. It was about ghosts, and to see it now, finally the sequel so many years later to come out, because this was an Xbox One game. See the sequel come out is exciting, but it is disappointing that it's missing Xbox.
Netflix has it though.
Netflix has it, right? So there is an argument to be made that maybe the service-based movie guys don't want to put their game on another service, quote unquote service-based platform. But again, you could choose to sell it a la carte on Xbox. I don't necessarily see what the issue there is. It's weird. And again, it points to something that I just saw the Duke's thumbnail and it made me laugh because I'm like, there's more games apart from obviously the Final Fantasy VII remake, the Final Fantasy 16. There are other games that are just missing Xbox. The recent re-release of the Mega Man Battle Network games are completely missing Xbox, right? Beyond that, we talked about Octopath 2 and things of that nature. So it's just interesting. And we talk again, Attic has his feelings on why Square Enix does it. But it is interesting that it's happening in other sort of spaces, including spaces that are not Eastern studios, right? If there is a thinking,
Square this time.
Exactly. If there is a thinking that there might be some Eastern bias, right, with the American-made console manufacturer, okay.
Or started the trend, I could totally blame them.
This is what it is. They influenced everybody else.
Yeah, they influence everybody else. So it is weird that this is the case. So I want to know what you guys feel about this, specifically about Oxenfree 2, right? Because of the legacy. What is it? The legacy that it has on Xbox, and everything else. The kind of this general idea that beyond the Square Enix conversation, it just games missing Xbox for apparently no real legitimate reason other than well, you're not getting it, because like I said, Oxenfree 2 is coming to the Mac. Like, come on, man.
And Netflix
and that we're gonna get, they own it now, so I get it.
All right.
What do y'all think?
King Addict, any thoughts?
You go, King.
No, it's just the fact that if it wasn't coming to Game Pass, I really don't care.
That's the answer to everything. That's the answer to everything.
It's these Xbox dudes act like they are old something. We had it first before over here with us, and it was exclusive to us on the launch, and we should have it. You don't own them, you don't have it. Shut up. That's it. So if they own them, then they can dictate what they can do. You don't own them. This is the reason why these guys are going out inquiring people, because when it's all said and done, whatever game you're working on, can that?
So you just want a hostile takeover?
Yeah, they did it. Redfall. You had a PlayStation version, set in the trash.
So are you saying that since Xbox wasn't popular on the playground, they went and took their ball and went home? And they just and then they bought the ball manufacturer.
Listen, for whatever reason, certain games are missing Xbox.
Yes, that is good.
I have witnessed the petty of Microsoft. Continue to move how the way you're moving, and your key card won't work one morning. You'll be purchased.
You'll be purchased.
It's just simple as that. So after this acquisition is done, and after this little dude over here buying up all types of chips and penny candies inside the store, he's in there shopping literally with $100 and buying a whole bunch of penny candies. I'm gonna get a whole bunch of penny candies.
Don't do Sony buying penny candy studio. Don't do that.
And as soon as Microsoft finishes with the ABK deal,
okay, because they on their eyes on the prize.
Yeah. See, like y'all buy little studios. Microsoft goes and buy publishers, right? Y'all go and rent out an apartment in the building, and Microsoft goes and buys the project.
I gotta be rented out.
So I just say, keep on doing what you're doing. When you wake up in the morning, and your key card don't work, and you get a new badge that says Microsoft. When they hand you a
in the
chain,
chat said the Fawcett's in King's house run coding
Game Pass. Fact. Okay. So King.
When they hand you this, welcome to Death Row.
but there's an argument to be made that they could overwhelm them with all these little, baby acquisitions.
Pacquiao was supposed to overwhelm Floyd.
like the baby golems yesterday, how they were beating up on the walls.
Did it make the game fun? No. Exactly. They can do whatever they want to do. They're gonna end up just like I said. They're gonna be an app. All right. The reason why you're gonna be an app is, as I predict, you're gonna have a lot of lawbreakers. You're gonna have a lot of bleeding edge, and you can't recover from that. You can't make those games and recover from that. You can't make those games, invest all that time, and think it's gonna happen for you. You're looking for a lotto ticket. It's cool, but you can't afford it. Like, you can't take your last $10 and go buy $10 of lotto tickets when you got to eat.
Oh,
right? So keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna wind up in that. That's all.
Just to be clear. So basically, Xbox is allowing these little deals for Sony and everyone else.
They're not allowing anything.
Okay.
Microsoft can't do anything right now.
Oh, okay, because they focus on big.
Jim is a masterful chess player. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna keep him tied up over here.
Right.
While I go and do as much as I can to get all these studios under our banner, so we can move forward. Sony can go make all the little acquisitions they want. They're not buying no publishers, right? Microsoft is. So they have to go in front of the FTC. They have to go to CMA. They got to do all these things. Sony just go through, here's a check. All right, y'all Tuesday.
Got you.
And that's it. You know, so listen, he's smart. They're both smart. It's just who gambles pays out in the end.
Right.
I know Sony can't say we got 10 games of services and they have misses.
Right.
They can't have misses. They got to have hits.
Got you. Okay. Now you're saying based on the scale because Microsoft's wallet. And according to what Hogue does agree with you in the sense that, you know, once the ABK is finished, they are not stopping with the acquisition. So according to you, all resources are dedicated there. That as soon as that, they're gonna come back outside and they're gonna scoop up Debo more situation.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is small business versus this big bank versus little bank. That's what we do.
That's it.
Okay, got you.
Company versus $1 billion company.
Okay, I see what we do. I just want to be clear. Attic, your thoughts on this, sir?
I think these indie developers are holding their game hostage, looking for that Game Pass back.
Ooh, they did take the first one.
That's what I think that is. I think because it's not a coincidence. It's on every other platform. But this particular one, I think the Square Enix thing's a little bit different because I do think there is some relationship going on between Sony and PlayStation. Even if the Game Pass bag was there, I don't know if Square would take it at this point because I think that they're building up for something. Like I said, I think they're trying to be bought. But, you know, at the end of the day, I do think the Mega Man, same scenario. You know, we could release this game now while it's going on the PlayStation. We don't know if we could make that money right up front, or we could hold it hostage for 6 months until, Microsoft needs some more games to come into their Game Pass to get that back and the original sales most likely we was going to get anyway. Right. I think that's probably happening here too because it's going on Netflix. Yeah.
I mean, Netflix,
they
own them. What if Netflix? What if Netflix is applying, opposing services strategies?
And that's the thing. Like, again, unless Microsoft came
with PlayStation has their own too. They got PlayStation Plus that has its own subscription service.
But it still isn't the same. It still isn't, first party games day and date.
I feel you, but that's not a first party game. So there's no real realistic reason to hold that. If you're not, to me, if it was that, a pure subscription standpoint, they would treat both equally. Sure, Game Pass is probably a little bit bigger, like perception wise than PlayStation Plus, but I would say PlayStation Plus actually has more people sub to it because they merged them all together. Right. To me, besides the Square Enix things, and remember we said a year ago when this started happening with little games, because we started seeing a lot of these Japanese titles skip the Xbox platform. I said, then just tell them not to work with them. And you guys know we need the Final Fantasy games. My issue with what's going on with PlayStation and Final Fantasy isn't with any individual thing. It's how PlayStation's trying to paint themselves like they don't do it. That's why I'm like, if I can choose not PlayStation, I'm gonna choose not PlayStation. But it's just like, if this is the case and people are looking at this and seeing the kind of bags that Microsoft is throwing out there to get these type of games in Game Pass, I do think it's possible that some of these, it's going to take us probably 2 years to make that kind of money. When we can just hold off for 6 months and get that money right now.
So question, and this is jumping into the next topic, but whatever JosephStaten is making for them is a third party. It's not, it's not Netflix exclusive. It's going to be everywhere as well. And it's a AAA game. It's going to be a triple. It's not going to be Oxenfree 2.
I bet you that's on Xbox.
I bet you
that's on Xbox.
Oh, so you think Staten's games will be okay?
Yeah, it could be they need Staten to soften up that relationship.
I'm just thinking they're looking. I'm thinking they're looking at it from a a scale of the game. You know, if it's a AAA game that they feel like they can sell on the platform very easily, then they will do it. But I feel like even though that the first one was mildly successful, you know, a lot of people love that game. They're looking at it from what can we expect from it in the sea of competition this year? Because this isn't an easy year to go through. Next year isn't an easy year to go through. And they see that potential bag that I'm definitely going to get. All I got to do is wait out Microsoft in the bag that I potentially might get. You know, people want their money up front, and if they have to wait 6 months to get it, they'll get it. I guarantee you within a year, Mega Man will be on Xbox. And it's because these companies, you saw it with the Japanese, like the amount of money that Microsoft probably spun out to get all these games, the Final Fantasy 10, 9, 7, the Dragon Quest 11, like, you know, there's some of the Tales games were on there. The amount of money that Microsoft spent definitely wasn't not noticed. People look at, oh, yo.
He said, yo,
Microsoft gave you how much money?
So do you think they painted themselves into a corner a little bit by
these
bags? Like nobody wants to deal with them up front. Now, like, nah,
I actually feel like Game Pass has done a lot of good for Microsoft. It's put a lot of, especially you know, community wise, it's been very consumer friendly, but I do think there's a little bit of a double-edged sword going on that people don't talk about, where Game Pass is starting to hurt them, not necessarily as much as it's helping them, but it is starting. It's like, you know, you're trying to stop a blade and that double edge is cutting you a little bit. And I think this is one of the things that's happening, where it's like, look, like, you know, some of these people, because these little projects, Octopath Traveler 2, you know, I think that might come into Xbox. I don't know if it will, but some of these smaller projects, and notice they don't hold none of the big stuff. Big stuff always comes. It's just the little projects, you know, besides the Final Fantasy 7 remake and stuff. It's just the big stuff, the small stuff that doesn't come, the stuff that they know they're going to have some form of a community, but they're unsure how much they're realistically going to sell. What makes more sense to you? Trying to, you know, promote, put the game on sale, or just wait 6 months till Microsoft's looking for some Game Pass games and take the check then?
Get that double.
They probably already have an Xbox port already ready.
Gotta see. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is.
I could see them making the Xbox port, and they'd be like, "Well, we need help with the port," knowing it's already done. Like,
no doubt. King, did you get your balls off for this topic?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, no, I don't really have much to say other than yes, it is strange that it's not on the Xbox platform. Yes, Netflix owns the studio. Yes, it's on every other platform, right? Was it Switch, PC, you know? And yes, Oxenfree 1 was on Game Pass. Very interesting to me. I don't know what to make of this. I mean, other than, yeah, it's not Square. I don't know. The only thing, I mean, briefly talked about on Duke with Manny was just that I was thinking from the standpoint of kind of like what Addict's saying. If they got the bag the first time around, and, you know, it was definitely to their liking, that kind of a bit, you know, is it something that, look, it takes two to tango on this type of situation. So is it something that, you know, they may have priced themselves out, they wanted another Game Pass bag, and Microsoft says, hey, based on our metrics last time, this is where we're at. And they were like, okay, now we good. You know what I'm saying? We want it here. And we have all the other platforms to kind of, you know, match that. So I don't know. The truth is going to come out on this one. I am curious, though, if it's 6 months or to a year after, if Oxenfree, you know, 2 ever comes to the platform. That's going to be very interesting to me, and the time frame within there, because I am curious with the subscription service thing, if that plays any factor in it, because I don't know what their situation was in Oxenfree 1. When were they acquired? That's the other thing. I don't know.
It's not too long ago.
Oh, so it is recent. It is recent.
Yeah, let me check.
That's the question. I don't know, but we're gonna see. It is a very strange situation. I will say that. But that's all I got, unfortunately. You know, let's see what's going on with that. And we got.
It's just like one of those things. Like I said, I do personally feel like if it is the Game Pass thing, which, you know, we don't know. We don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Game Pass thing, and like the executives of these companies aren't even telling anyone the reasoning. They're like, you know what? If we hold out, Microsoft's eventually going to come looking. They're eventually like they gotta feed the beast.
I mean, they are considered, you know, one of the premier, you know, services to compete, and we've heard the talk of language in contracts that it cannot be in Game Pass. We've heard that talk before. I don't know. You know, I'm very curious, and then we're going to transition to the Staten thing because it makes sense. But before we do that, let's get these super chats or anything Saul wanted to say before we move on.
Yep, give me a second. Make sure
No doubt.
Something.
Shout out to the wandering Dutch. Oxenfree did 1 million in sales on Xbox and Steam, then 3 million players on Game Pass. Interesting. So yeah, sounds pretty decent.
And those 3 million people could potentially buy the sequel.
True. I mean, again, negotiations though, right? What if, you know, Oxenfree says, "Hey, we did this well, but now we should get this back." Microsoft's like, "Look, man."
If the negotiations was what was okay, you didn't secure the bag for the game to come in Game Pass, so we just rip it from the platform. You know, that's why I don't think even a negotiation was made. Because to me, you can't have a negotiation like that, then say, you know what, we taking our ball and going home, and then come back 6 months and say, yo, we want a bag. Actually, that's why I don't think even one was made.
I guess I'm just confused because it's like they're not going to do a port at all outside of Game Pass, right? So to me, it's like, okay, you're not even going to port it over. So to me, your evaluation that it doesn't make sense to go on to the Xbox platform without Game Pass. That's what I'm assuming. That's what it screams to me. So I still feel there may be a breakdown in negotiation on that, or someone is overvaluing themselves or undervaluing the other.
Then at that point, I'm gonna be real with you. Microsoft needs to tell these people we're not making your game on our platform at all.
And maybe
because if we have too many of these domino effects where companies feel like they're better off just holding their game off of the platform, Microsoft needs to take a stand. So your game's not coming on our platform.
And what if the gift and the curse, like you said, is the result? What if the gift and the curse is that they gave these bags early in the Game Pass cycle, right? When Game Pass was growing, and people was expecting that same number, and those are like, yo, bro, this is what we really feel you are right now, and dudes are like, nah, we not doing it unless you give us that exact bag or higher. And Microsoft's all right, cool, then we good, and we won't see you on the platform until you're ready to come back and negotiate. It takes two to tango.
I'm very curious how that's fixed, how that's remedied. Like,
I don't know.
I don't even know of a circumstance, because if you do tell certain people, yo, we're not going to, I think it would have to be one of those things, and I know it would be devastating, but it's like, do you do it individually or do you publishing wise? Okay, you know, you're not giving us your smaller games. We're not going to take your bigger games, but who does that hurt? Us.
True. But
it's just like, how do you fix that?
Or Microsoft could say, okay, you fronting on us now. Come November, game ABK deal is done. We now get an influx of 30 to 50 million now subscribers, knowing that Call of Duty is now to play on Game Pass. Now we come back, Oxenfree 3. We got, I'm just making up a number, 150 million Game Pass subscribers. Oh, you don't want your game to be seen by 150 million off the rip? That changes negotiation posture. Now they come in with a position of strength. You see what I'm saying?
I feel like exposure would definitely be a sign to continue the conversation, but they're going to want that money at the end,
right? But
and if you have 150 million and you've grown your brand off this much off your own stuff at that point, because the Call of Duty and stuff, I feel like their bags start lowering, because it's like, dude, we got what we need to make our stuff grow.
True.
Like now we was going to give you, let's say, 30 million 6 months ago. Now it's 10 because we don't need you anymore.
Right. Like, that's the power of negotiations, right? Where people are in a position of strength based on exclusivity and the popularity of their title, versus Microsoft in a position of strength. Hey, this is our user base. This is how many people will instantly download this game. And get this, your little game will be on the main storefront next to a Call of Duty, next to a whatever. So it's negotiation on both sides. It takes two to tango. These are good points. We got to see. I'm very curious if this information
that's why acquisitions is extremely important for Microsoft, because if people are going
to play these games with them,
doing this. We don't know if people are low-key holding these games hostage, but if they're going to do that, Microsoft needs to start playing hardball.
That's why I'm Lord Acquisition. Buy the builder. If nobody want to play nice with you, own it.
Okay, you don't want you don't want your indie game on our platform. Okay, you know, we're going to launch 3 games with it. You know, Microsoft.
People always say, "Yo, Microsoft got all this money. What you want to do?" Now they gonna do something.
Imagine and playing hardball. They're like, "Okay, we're not gonna put Oxy, whatever the game's called, in place the original one." They're like, "Okay, not only are we not giving you money for Game Pass, we launching 3 of our games the day your game comes out.
That's super petty,
but I'm this industry, they respect that stuff. Like they if you can't give them money to get them on the platform because it's not enough, what do you do to get them to not skip your platform? Because at the end of the day, it's not even the Game Pass that's the issue. It's the fact that it's not coming to the platform at all.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
And it could be a bad domino effect. We can end up this being way bad in like 6 months to a year. I don't know.
I mean,
we don't realistically know what's going
on. I will
on.
see is they've made tremendous strides with getting third-party games now day into Game Pass. Like we're seeing Wo Long, Lies of P. We're seeing games that are now like, yo, they're getting third-party. So I think it is improving, but we're still seeing these little outliers here and there, like this Pixel McMaster, Octopath,
and that could lead up to it too, where people are seeing Wo Long get these kind of bags. I want that bag. I don't want this bag. I want that bag.
And Microsoft be like, well, you ain't got.
And they're like, well, we can't give you that bag. Well, then you don't get my game.
Well, there you go. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get this super chat, sir.
Okay, we have, hold on 1 second. We got a bunch that came in afterwards. Pragmatic Eagle, member for 2 years, $20 super chat. I'm loving every game I play, and I'm loving ILP. Salute. Lord,
salute. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. We got Nintendo the Otaku, $5 super chat. I ain't gonna cap. I wasn't feeling most of the indie world. Blasphemous, Rift of the Necrodancer, Bomb Rush, Cyberpunk, which I forgot, Jet Set Vibes, and Oxenfree 2 were the standouts. Yep, that's about right.
Yeah, the rest of that stuff was hot trash.
Yes. Then we got Robert Kellett, $2 super chat. Xbox the second class citizen of gaming.
Wow. Well,
sometimes it feels that way. Then we got GSD getting stuff done. Member for 1 year, $2 super chat. Knicks win. Knicks win.
All right.
Right. Well, that playoff hotness. Maybe I'll watch a basketball game now. Fair weather fan that I am. There we go. Argy $5 super chat member for 1 year. Wasn't Oxenfree 2 announced by Sony in 2021? Is it a surprise that it isn't coming to Xbox? I'd be surprised if Sony blocked that one off from Xbox, but you never know. Oh, so the acquisition happened September 2021.
Okay.
So not even 2 years.
Not even 2 years. Okay.
It's enough time to change things, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm wondering how long it realistically took that game to be made.
I mean, damn, like I said, the original came out. It was an Xbox One game, so they took forever. They also did that other, I forgot what it was called. It was some game where you were like playing a drinking game against the devil.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that game. Yeah, I remember that game.
I forgot what it was called.
Yeah.
Spartan Ghost 17, £2 super chat. All these languages, and Addict chose to speak facts.
Woo! Oh, they love it, Addict today.
Loving spicy Addict today.
They'll hate me next week. It's fine. It balances out, man.
Take your glory this week.
And we have Hargeet Sani, member for 1 year, $5 super chat. Giving at Nintendo the Otaku a shout out. It looks like Oxenfree 2 was announced at Nintendo Indie World in 2021. Announced to also come to PS4 and 5 in 2021. Yeah. Then we have Lord Metroid, member for 1 year, $2 super chat. All I know is the game of the year releases on May 12th, TikTok.
No doubt he outside.
Then we got JD Gamer, member for 2 years, $5 super chat. I don't know where Staten thinks he's going. Microsoft is going to be getting Netflix soon. So Staten is either a Trojan horse or he'll be coming home soon.
That's what 3D chess.
Could be.
You go over there, then you go buy over there.
You know, it'd be crazy.
Or like the Mike, like kind of like what happened with Mike now, in a way. Like he goes over there, the Blizzard.
It'd be crazy. I doubt this is happening.
What?
But 3 weeks ago or a couple months ago, it was originally coming to Xbox, and Joseph went over like, "Nah, I don't like them anymore. You block that."
Savage.
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
Then we
just go in there and hits the order 66 button.
Kill it all. It's done, Joe. It's done. Nah.
Kill it.
Good. Then we have either the Ginna or the Jinna. I don't know which one it is. Tell me which one it is. £2 super chat. You think Xbox ever released a Game Pass only game? Unless they make a decision to not sell games a la carte anymore, that ain't happening.
I doubt it. They make money off of that. Like, there's no way they're just gonna kiss that revenue. It's the reason they haven't got rid of Xbox Live. They make money off of it.
Yeah. Then we have Splendiferous, member for 1 year, $5 super chat. Remember, Game Pass has a waiting list, so you know you can't skip the line. You gotta wait. Your sack is not heavy enough to just get a VIP room. Go hang with Jimmy. No.
Wow. They need to make the platform.
I love how these scenarios are created. Then we get, hold on, roll it back a little bit. Okay, we have Spartan Go 17, $2 super chat. Addict on that Godfather offer they can't refuse. Then we have Mike Askew Jr., $5 super chat. Did you all talk about how that Octopath 2 sales went? Square found out that move off Xbox didn't hit.
I didn't see
Sales, it bombed.
Wait,
Like,
Octopath 2 didn't do good?
bombed. Yeah, apparently it bombed.
That's crazy.
I'm not 100% sure on the sales. It was like, look, like, I don't know if that game coming on Xbox would have just magically made the sales be better, but it definitely would have been better than it was.
Damn, that's great. I heard that game was Matty goes hard for it.
It's a great game. I just think, you know what it is too? Like I said, I think it's the shift in the PlayStation guys thinking about, like, when you see in Final Fantasy 16, you have to be a really hardcore JRPG dude to be like, I'm gonna sit and play Octopath 2, because it's just one of those things. It's a beautiful game. That beautiful 2D 3D stuff is gorgeous.
I'm surprised that Sony didn't buy them JRPGs. Sony fans.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't matter. You know, sometimes you can have the hottest game in the world if you release wrong dates to come out, or you don't have the marketing it was. Like, it just doesn't matter. And then plus, let's be real, like, a lot of the mass people these days look at graphics like that and they just like, I'm good on that. Like, we ain't doing that. Like, especially you see something like Final Fantasy 7.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Where they've expanded that franchise. They're like, I want graphics like that. I'm not going from 7 back to this.
So in a way, it might have hurt them to just to eliminate, to put it on to eliminate Xbox, but it might have hurt them to just not leave it as a Switch exclusive. Right, because on the Switch, you look at that, but like, this game's amazing for the Switch.
It should have played well on Switch. That's surprising it didn't do well with Switch and PlayStation.
Because they kind of diluted the waters, and they put it on PlayStation as well. The numbers don't. I think it would have hit differently if it was just a Switch game.
You don't put it over there, you flop.
I'm done with
That's not what I was getting at, King.
Oh, God. So that's what's gonna have the Oxenfree 2 now, King?
Keep skipping the platform. Keep picking yourself up.
I think it would have done
he projected.
As a Switch exclusive.
He projected.
It didn't do great, and it was over there.
Continue.
Then we got Spargo 17 again, $2 super chat. Phil about to start spinning the block on studio.
He about to come back. As soon as the APK done, he about to come back on him.
Then we got Light X, $2 super chat. Thank you. Appreciate that. Then we have Nintendo on the Otaku, $2 super chat. That Space Jam beat 'em up was Xbox Game Pass exclusive. Woo. Yeah, not playing that. I think we're good. We're caught up.
All right, King, this is the last one. This your topic. Let me set it up, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, JosephStaten, the legend, now going over to Netflix Games. Joins Netflix Games, and he's gonna looks like he's gonna be working on a brand new AAA game. So he made a statement on Twitter. He said, "In my work life, there's nothing I love more than collaborating with others to build worlds filled with iconic characters, deep mysteries, and endless adventures." He then goes on to say, "So today, I'm thrilled to announce that I've joined Netflix Games as creative director for a brand new AAA multi-platform game and original IP. Let's go." And then Microsoft seemed to respond. Everything seemed to be all good. "We're grateful for Joseph's contributions to the Halo franchise and Xbox as a whole, and we wish him all the best in his new adventure." So stay in. Over to Netflix Games, King. This is your topic. Where you at?
Okay, so this is a little bit conspiracy theory and a little bit of I got sources too.
Oh, you're NDA dude now.
And they were wrong.
Oh, Oh,
I saw us in the background was like he going to Bungie.
That is true. That is true.
He said it, and I stood on that. See what happens when you listen to somebody.
You had your temper counted.
Yeah, that could be factual. It turns out to throw egg in your face. I'm just saying.
I feel that.
I just had to put that there.
Just to put that out there for sourcing. Okay,
Yeah,
I see
so
what we're doing.
shout out to him for going to Netflix. Now, if anybody can remember, not too long ago, there was talks that Microsoft was going to buy Netflix.
Yes.
It was in the newspaper. I'm seeing the headline, like, what the hell is going on here? All right, so Microsoft is the first people that says, wish Staten well. Hey, man, wish you well. Mikey Barr goes over here. Ferguson goes over here. Deal is getting done. These dudes go over there, prepare the runway for the acquisition.
Oh, right? This is what we doing?
I'm just saying.
This is what we doing. Okay.
So it was smoke over there before with them buying Netflix. And I'm like, I don't want them buying Netflix. What the hell are they going to buy Netflix for? Like, what is the sense of them buying Netflix?
He's not entirely wrong.
He's not entirely wrong with Activision Blizzard, with Ferguson and Barra. But okay, go ahead.
It's a Trojan horse.
It's something over here with this Netflix thing. Send our number one hit over. send
you know what would be crazy, King? I'm going to take it a step further. They're like, look, Mike, if you secure that deal, we make sure you heading stuff over there at Blizzard. Like,
continue.
Listen. When that deal goes through, we're going to see where Mike is. We're going to see where Rod is. We're going to see exactly where they at in the pecking order, right? Yeah. Gold watches giving out bonuses. Stuff happens. Good job.
Gold bullion.
So, Staten goes over there, making a AAA game.
AAA.
He wasn't out of work long, right?
No, he wasn't.
That was quick as you snap your finger. He already had a job lined up. And Microsoft said, I wish you well. So you get over there. I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know how y'all feel about him going over there for the Netflix. But my thing, my overarching thing, my third eye is open.
Let's go.
That boy over there preparing the runway for Microsoft to buy Netflix. Because I'm going to tell you this. I told people before that Sony and Netflix is going to team up, and that's going to turn Sony into the largest video game conglomerate overnight. If they're able to use the technology of you watching God of War, and you can join in and play this game at this moment right here and play from there on, right? Like you in a God of War the movie, or let's say you're playing The Last of Us, watching The Last of Us TV show, and it's in Netflix, and let's just say, and then you're able to click a button and take over Ellie from this point on in the actual game, right? And Sony owns that, and they work with Netflix in that manner. I thought Netflix would be the perfect home for Sony. Staten going over there. That deal shot the crap.
Oh, okay. So the Bulls in the building. They're setting up position.
I think he's a Trojan horse. I swear I do, because it's just every time somebody leaves Microsoft and goes someplace else, they wind up buying these people.
King's third eyes open. I thought.
They got this. They just invited him into a room. He's like, Staten, I know things didn't work with Halo. It's like, but we got a door 2. Do you want door 2? What's in door 2? He puts out he's like, it's the CIA. He's like, this package is gonna explode the moment you open it.
ILP conspiracy theory.
Red pill or blue pill. All right.
It's like there will be a nice vacation house for you in Florida if you buy this.
Oh, wow, y'all really going on. Solve, any thoughts on the Netflix?
I will say this, right? I mean, because it hasn't been proven to not be the case.
Oh,
Listen, business is funny, man. It's not that I believe this wholeheartedly, but the fact that, you had these two guys go over to Activision Blizzard and all of a sudden it's coming back. They're coming back into the fold. None of them has made a kind of move, but like, oh, nah, you know, I don't want to be with Microsoft again. I'm out of here. Like, yeah, nobody said that, right? So you never know, because business
if anything,
is funny, man.
After the acquisition was made, Mike Ybarra got a promotion.
He got promoted to like president, right? So listen, I again, because it has not been disproven in other scenarios. Hey, you never know. And you know, I would put JosephStaten in front of a boardroom, like, hey, you know, these guys over here, they're doing good, cool stuff. We got together, so I can see a scenario. Now, come back down to earth.
Yes, please.
I could just see Joe just sitting in a room, and people was like, well, you know, they're just talking regular stuff, and Joe's like, Microsoft wants to buy it.
Yeah, let's see. Continue.
Yeah, and to me, I mean, again, apart from that scenario, you get JosephStaten because JosephStaten has been known to be able to craft amazing stories, amazing worlds, lore build, all of that. And, you know, I think what I like about what Netflix is doing is that they've seen the mistakes of other players that tried to get into the gaming space, and it don't seem to be making them as well. You look at what Google did with Stadia. They're not leaning into the streaming part, right? Like the stuff that King mentioned is very cool, right? The possibility of doing that, but all of their games are downloadable. You go into your Netflix app, you could download that game to either to your phone or whatever platform it's available on that you're playing the Netflix on. So that's one thing, right? So they're not leaning into the cloud stuff like cloud. Another thing is that they're not charging you more for it, right? At least not overtly. They may raise their prices in other things, but they're not telling you they're raising their prices because they're adding games to it, right? So they're being smart about how they implement this stuff, and then little by little they're increasing sort of their footprint in the space. All of a sudden you go from smaller games that can run on a phone, that have been on portable platforms like the Switch, have been on PC, whatever the case may be, to now transitioning into, we're going to make a big AAA game. We need somebody to come in as a lore master. And this game, not only is it going to be a AAA game, but it's going to be a multi-platform game. So we're not in this bag where it has to be exclusive to our platform. No, we understand that for this to be as successful as possible.
Yo, Brian, someone got to pay for this game.
Somebody got to pay for this game, and all these Netflix subscribers are going to be doing it. But at the same time, it's like, hey, let's sell it to everyone else as well. So to me, it is that thing of they're read the tea leaves. They're like, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it the right way. We're not going to step on the same brakes that the Stadias have, that even the Amazon with the Lunas have. Like, they're not leaning into that. At some point, that may be important. But I like what they're doing with this. And again, Staten with the ability now to come back into a creative space, right? And even though, he jumped at the chance to work on Halo again and to sort of right that ship and fix it. But the chance to have, once again, come into a space where it is his own, and it is different. A brand new thing. For a creative individual, creators in general, they're always looking for the opportunity to have their new ideas be able to grow and become something, right? I can see you getting tired of working on the same stuff over and over, which is why, like, after he came in and did what he did with Halo, and obviously whatever happened behind the scenes happened, he's like, there's no point in me continuing to be here. I need to find a different adventure, and this is it. And he got a bag for it, and I'm assuming he has carte blanche in terms of whatever it is he's trying to create there. So I'm excited for it. And again, but I do say that the third eye scenario could be a possibility. You never know.
You never know. Look, man, salute to the legend. Staten talked about this as one of the topics on Unlocked as well. In reference, look, his history is just mind-boggling. Like over 17 years, this guy's been holding it down. And then, responsible for two of the series, some of my favorite in gaming, which is Halo and Destiny. And, always going to respect that he got off his couch to help Halo PC post Craig, you know what I'm saying, and can come through and in a consultant role and give his expertise. But to your point, Salvis, it's one of those things. If you're a creator and you see a process like that, and you're like, you know what, maybe it's time, for me to run my own thing. He's been doing, so much, and he's got more than just game dev spit. He's got narrative chops. Yep. He's got writing chops. He wrote the story. Like his resume is just insane. So
and not to mention, Cog, like there's a difference between being just a person that is in a line of people and being the person at the top.
Right.
And he's literally the amount of money that they're gonna put into his game because he's that first AAA is probably insane.
The bag that Netflix must have given this man had to be insane. That had to be an epic bag. So salute to him. He's got a chance to cash out and do things on his own, some kind of things. And you're starting to see this trend, whether it be like kind of veteran, directors, senior level guys, either like cash out on a studio tip after they've been acquired, or they've been at a company long and then they go kind of create their own studio. You're starting to see that. So this is one thing that I will say is kind of like a positive of post acquisition, in the sense that you're starting to see people create their own studios to do whatever. Yeah. So Netflix is trying to get in the game. We'll see, the effect of it. I will say this though, there's the other part that people are not seeing is, this cross media pollination of games, media, movies. This is the wave. You see now what Cyberpunk Edge Runners did for Cyberpunk. You know what I mean? You're seeing what Last of Us is doing right now. Obviously people don't like certain aspects with the Halo series, but as far as the revenue, as far as the engagement, it is Paramount's top, you know what I'm saying? One of their top shows. So you're seeing that. So don't be surprised. Whatever he creates on a huge level, there will be some anime, live action, whatever, in relationship to whatever this new IP is. And I think that's where gaming is going. They're starting to see, you see in the Mario movie, Sonic movie, like we're here now. This cross pollination of media. So I think that's what's going on, and salute to him. I don't know what's going to happen with acquisitions of Netflix.
Am I mistaken, or did they say that already? Like that it was going to be, besides the whatever world he's creating for the game, this is going to be something more than that in terms of the cross pollination. Did they say that?
I'm not sure. I didn't read the official press release on his thing yet.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, so maybe they did. I don't know. I didn't see, but I didn't read the official press release, which I probably should have done. But that's all I was gonna say. Is just that you want to, especially Netflix, especially what they had, Witcher, they had, they got a lot going on. Castlevania, you gonna see something, what I'm saying, kind of thing. And that, again, on those whiteboards, that's where the money's at. So we'll see where.
And not to mention when they go to make deals with these companies to produce their shows, now since they own a gaming division, they're like, yo, we want gaming rights too. We ain't just doing show. We want both. Yeah. Or you could try to throw you a script to someone else.
And he could secure it back. Also, on his resume, he helped, before this TV show stuff, Halo was supposed to come out with a movie with Peter Jackson in them back in the day. Staten was helping Peter Jackson them write the script for the movie. The movie never came out back then. I guess Games Media wasn't ready at that time. But yeah, he's got the chops. So I would not be surprised contractually. He's got all this laid out as far as his incentives and all this stuff, as far as what he would have done. The only thing I care about, though, is post-Staten Halo Infinite's narrative. What happens? Shout out to P.A. Hines and the crew. But
Paris has a good point. He said Hollywood's eyeing the gaming industry. As you can see, the
comic movies are decreasing. This is the new genre. I agree with Paris.
Mario was lit. It was good. It was a great movie.
It was a great movie. And again, what's happening is you get a whole new audience that are non-gamers. Now, what's Mario? What's Witcher? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What's that? Let's go check. Last of Us, this is a great story. But I
have a PlayStation. I play Call of Duty every year.
Let me go. Exactly. And then we saw, I think on MBD, like Last of Us sales are crazy right now. So look, there's that, that crossover right there. We got to see what's going on. I do want to see what's going on with Halo. I do want to see, though, narratively what's going to happen, where they go with it. Do we have to wait after Infinite? That, because, I still feel, even though I thought Staten staying there was consulting them to give Halo Infinite, like, infinite, like what the name was supposed to be, which is you're going to be there to continue to give us drops, almost like an expansion. So I wonder how that changes, if at all, with being that he has departed.
I think that definitely changed.
Yeah, and it may be like the next Halo we have to wait. But salute to him. He is a legend. That's all I got. But yeah, I think that he's got big things planning on. But that's all I got. We're going to get some chance. We're going to do the poll that I should remember this time.
Yeah, go ahead and do the poll.
All right, no doubt. With the latest statements by Xbox regarding HiFiRush's success, which do you think is the measurement Microsoft is utilizing for its success? A, console and PC game sales. B, Game Pass subscribers. C, user engagement per title. Or D, I don't care. All I know is these games need to be fire. Those are the choices. Please rock the vote that I will put up and remember. It's no 7-8 hour show. I am going to remember to put these polls back up. It is on popping. Oh, LordCognito, new Tekken character? Which one? Tell me the name. Tell me Nelson Revelle. Tell me which Tekken character joined. Let me know what's going on, because I got to go check that out in a minute. But that is all solved. You want to get the super chat, sir?
Yes, sir. Doesn't have too many more. Hold on. No, we got. I think we're good.
Nothing.
Oh, we caught up. No doubt.
We are caught up. Let me make sure. 100%. But I think we're good.
Nothing there.
Nothing
doubt. More.
Nice little smooth 4 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah, I like this.
Back on point.
Sorry, y'all.
Sorry, we only gave y'all 3.
I'd be happy if we could just eliminate 30 more minutes.
You was in your bag today.
Yes,
you could have. I'll mess with you. Anyway, Lord Addict, very spicy. Urban Addict today. Where can the people find you? What you got going on, sir?
You can find me on Twitter at Lord Addict ILP. First off, I want to say is I really appreciate everyone for supporting my personal YouTube channel. People have been showing up in the drones. It's kind of insane. It's one of those things where you start to see some mild success after doing this for so many years, and you're like, okay, it gives me motivation to keep doing it. Yes. And sometimes I'd be like, nah, I'm good. But I appreciate everyone coming through. I'm going to put my channel in the chat. Definitely go over there and sub to me, man. Yeah, I'm making daily content just about at this point. So go over there and sub to that. I appreciate everyone coming through. We had up to I think it was 750 people. Mm-hmm. If by the end of the show you can get that 342 to 400. I'll schedule a video with me and the Lords rating all the Xbox studios, and we'll post it on the channel. But I appreciate everyone coming through. Keep in mind, after the show, we're going to go live straight into the Dead Island 2 review. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It took me about, I would say, 30 hours to beat that game.
Salute to you on that. What you call it? The Jenna says, after the Endgame episode last week, you guys now going Disney Plus with bite-sized content this week. Out of pocket. Anyway, Lord Saul, where can people find you? What you got going on, sir?
You can't find me going to work as always, but but I'm excited. Next couple of weeks are exciting, man. We got Jedi Survivor at the end of this upcoming week, and of course, next week after that, we got Redfall.
Oh, yes.
Look for the Lords to be playing that together and then doing that. Exciting time. So, and like I said before, big shout out to baby bro. Happy birthday.
Happy born day. Everybody saying happy born day. Lord Kai Batsu.
He's probably just waking up now.
Yeah, he probably just waking up now. How long they? I wonder if they still going. So what you call it? Time stamps.
And I got a couple of more super chats, but I'll read that after everybody's.
No doubt. Lord King, very quiet today. Quiet King.
No, I was just trying to make sure that we wasn't doing 4 hours.
I'm not interjecting today.
Yeah, you keeping it brief.
I just keep watching. I'm just like, I wanted to yell out time so damn much.
You should have yelled out time.
He's stupid. He's like, I got nothing else to say. Time.
No. R&R with the Lords, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Combat Talk with the King when Devin Haney and Lomachenko fights. Thank you so much.
No doubt. And you already know. Salute to everybody in the round. Again, thank y'all for 300, man. That was super dope. The love was beyond felt. I watched it back a few times, and it was really cool. Little tear came to the eye of certain parts. I was like, yo, that was dope. So salute to the realm for pulling up and hitting the like button, all that good stuff. You want to get these last super chats? Did we get up out of here?
Yes, sir. We got Lord Metroid, $2 super chat. My fighting stick is ready for Street Fighter 6. Let's go. Pause. Yes, pause.
You had to pause yourself for that.
my Saturn pad is ready as well. I think at the end of this week, everybody else gets the demo. I'm not sure, but I think it's at the end of this week. Yeah, I think so.
So it comes to other platforms, wasn't it?
Yeah, other platforms. I don't know if I think it's a week. That was so.
There you go. There he go.
Street Fighter 6. Nintendo Deal Taco, $2 super chat. Tekken 8 gotta step it up after everything Street Fighter 6 is doing. Yes.
No, Tekken 8 is fire. Tekken 8 looks fire. They can both coexist and be dope. So I'm trying to make one all dominating the other. Yeah, stop that. Tekken 8 look fire, sir. Continue.
Yeah, they're two different games. RRD, $2.20 super chat. R.I.P. Shakespeare. Yes, sir.
R.I.P. Shakespeare. Send some love to Randolph 119.
Yes, sir. Then we got Simon McKenzie, $5 super chat, dropping a little bit more just for the show to last a little bit longer. Love y'all guys. Keep up the excellent content.
Much love.
King loves you more.
King appreciates all of that.
Then we have Hard Geek today, $2 super chat. Cog, we know next week's 3-hour topic, ABK and the CMA.
I will say, once that deal gets finalized, you already know the whole community gonna pull up and they want to hear King. King dying out here. Look at that. Are we good?
Yeah, we have one more splendiferous $2 super chat. Can we support my man PTK Blam on his 300th episode? Absolutely.
Yes,
PTK
absolutely.
Blam, let's go, baby.
What's up? He hit it already?
Shopcast. I think, is it next week?
I think it's next week. I think it's next week. But I hope it, because I think I'm supposed to come through. I hope it ain't this week. Shout out to Blam, though. Shout out to Blam. Anyway.
Yeah, Shopcast. Yes, do your thing.
We all good?
We're good. We're caught up.
All right, everybody, enjoy your weekend. Some more fun stuff planned. You got stuff cooking, and that's all I got. But everybody, peace.
That Island 2, guys.
Go straight to the
bottom. Go there and hit the like button.
Hit the like
immediately. Let's go.